There we go, maybe? So, that's the first time streams crashed in a while. Hopefully it stays up this time. Again, I did get a new internet provider recently, and last stream it went fine. But, yeah, it does seem like tonight it's acting up a bit. So that's kind of annoying. Hopefully we can keep it going from here. It looks like everything is fine now. Might as well test things there. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So there we go. Hopefully things stay like this. We'll see.
Wait right here.
If it crashes again, I'll probably go and try to hardwire the connection. So. Yeah, don't even remember what I was talking about at this point, but whatever. Cool. So hopefully it doesn't become a common occurrence again. Again, there was that point earlier in what was it? It was like in the middle of 41, right? I remember we were playing Judgment, and like pretty much every stream the game was crashing, and that was like for like a month or so. So hopefully it doesn't get back to that point. Oh, fuck off! Oh, I'm supposed to pickpocket him, right? Oh, Purgatory. Yeah. I mean, I just think Purgatory is like one of the worst twists they could have done here, especially in the case that like 3 people return. However, like I did some thinking about this, like, and I did get. By the way, also I haven't talked about is I did get caught up on my Australian Survivor review finally. In terms of the writing, I haven't recorded or edited anything yet, still, but yeah, I got caught up on the writing of it. But like something I thought about was like, I feel like Purgatory, like the way that they did it here, I feel like they did it in a way that made it so they're guaranteed to get a final 3. I feel like that was the entire purpose of it, is for them to like really prolong the season in a way for them to get a final 3.
You humble me, Effendim. I will return to the merchant I wrote.
To where like I feel like if they ended up in that similar situation as they had with like Lee and Chelsea, they would have probably like prolonged Purgatory for like an extra week or something to make up another week's worth of episodes, or another date, like another episode worth of episodes, whatever. But yeah, like I feel like that's the point of Purgatory here, and the way that they structured it is so that they can make sure they have a final 3 this time. Why do they want a final 3? If I were to guess, I think it's because of the way the Australian Survivor functions, where like Australian Survivor, I'm really just Australian Survivor TV, or Australian TV as a whole, really focuses around like they need people to be watching their show. They need people to there needs to be something happening at all points to like keep the viewers watching. Like it's not like I don't know, it's like with so many like shows going on and like whatnot, it's like they need to like hold people's attention. I feel like that's like a major thing of like Australian TV. That's why they have like these big like epic moments and whatnot and try to focus around that. And I feel like with Final Threes, it increases the chances of you having a or at least theoretically at least. And I think to them it increases the chances that you have a more interesting like final tribal, where like if you have a final 2, in a lot of scenarios it ends up being where like only one person can actually win. Obviously they got very lucky last season where we had George and Haley, but like I feel like they want to maximize the chances that they have people at final tribal that people are interested and invested in, like, oh, are these people going to win the season? And I feel like that's like the major reason they want it. And yeah, I think Australian Survivor just like caters so much to the casual audience, which, to be fair, most things do. But I mean, like Australian Survivor just does it in a weird way, where it's like, because like I feel like Survivor US at this point like doesn't cater towards the casual audience as much. Mind you, I don't think it caters necessarily to the hardcore. I mean, I don't know who the fuck they're catering to, I guess. Realistically, but like Australian Survivor, I think like very much caters towards the casual audience, and that's why like they spend like they have like people getting like 18 confessionals in one episode, and then like almost everyone else getting 0. Is because like they don't like they want these like people being propped up as these big like masterminds and whatnot, and they don't really care if it's like at the expense of like other people getting no screen time. I see Zach's rant about Tori. Oh, on Twitter? Yeah. Was it a real rant? Like, that's the thing I couldn't tell. Like, was it a joke, or was he, like, actually being serious? But yeah, I did see it.
Do you mean they have been killed?
Like, all the things that he was, like, bringing up of, like, things she was, like, saying to make herself look more nerdy or whatever. And actually, like, caused him to not want to work with her as much. Which, again, that seems very apt for Tori. That's pretty much exactly what I would expect from Tori. I mean, you could say that, like, Survivor's, like, appealing to the woke audience in terms of casting, at least. But, like, I think in terms of, like, I think in terms of the game, though, I don't think it... I don't know who they're appealing to. Like, that's the thing, like, I don't get what they're doing with the game in terms of, like, making it so twist-heavy and whatnot. Where, like, because, like, is that even what the US casuals want? Like, maybe they do. But, like, I don't feel like that's something that, like, is as... like, that mindset is, like, as present in US Survivor... Or in US, TV. But, I don't know. But I think, like, really what Survivor, like, outside of, like, the twists and stuff, I think they're really trying to hone down on this being, like, an experience. And they want, like, everyone to grow from being on Survivor. And they're focusing so much on growth narratives and, yeah, it's like, I feel like that part of it is, like, the part that I'm not particularly liking. Like, even though it allows you to get these to know these people more, like, I feel like it does take away time from the gameplay of the show. I feel like it also takes away time from, like, more, like, actual character moments. Even though, to be fair, this episode did have a decent amount of them. But... Oh, yeah, did not do it? Oh, because when you have to jump from the top, right? I was gonna say, like, because, like, pretty sure, oh, wait, it's just, like, fucking... Okay, whatever. That was weird. Yeah, it stream crashed for a bit. Hopefully it stays up this time. We'll see. Where I have Vendettas and War of the Worlds 2. They're all pretty high. They're all top half. Mind you, Vendettas... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Vendettas is barely top half. I believe. But the other 3 are kind of high. I did move down a bit on War of the Worlds 1, though, after, like, readjusting the list.
I do not like the look of this.
Do I think a Final 3 could make seasons be 21 episodes? No. Again, the point is to have long episodes. They're not going to want to shorten. Like, that's the point of Purgatory here, is to give us more episodes. Like, the point is, like, that they want 24 episodes. Really, they need 24 episodes, from what I understand, or at least an extended season, based on, like, guidelines with Australian TV. So it's like, no, they're not going to shorten the season. If anything, they're going to, like, prolong the season even more. Like, I don't think Final 3, like, that's, like, again, that's why they have people returning, is to make it so they can keep the number of episodes, but still have a Final 3. Am I gonna play Valhalla Dawn of Ragnarok? No. I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't care about, like, modern Assassin's Creed, really at all anymore.
Are you injured?
Like, I really have not been paying attention.
That man,
to
his
really
name is
anything
Varin.
from
He was an assassin once.
like I
He
still
has
haven't played the
obvious
two
skill and a
newer
score to
the two
settle.
DLCs outside of Dawn of
Until that
Ragnarok.
man is caught or killed,
Even though I own
believe
them,
none of us will be safe
because I
in
did buy the
this city.
season pass
And until you are
with the
properly
game.
trained, I will not let you go head
But
to
yeah,
head
I'm
with
not
a
playing
killer
fucking
as
Dawn of
deadly as
Ragnarok.
this man.
I don't give a shit
Let us
anymore.
focus on further honing your skills first.
Who do I think is the most satisfying winner? I mean, like for me, probably like Tony, both times. But like I like in terms of trying to think like in terms of like storyline. I'm trying to think like who would it be? Probably be like I don't know, like Natalie Anderson's probably up there. I don't know, I'm trying to, like, actually, I just realized, like, recent seasons haven't had that many, like, super satisfying winners, have they? In terms of, like, the story of the season. Well, I mean, yes, they, like, fulfill the themes and whatnot, but, like, I mean, in terms of, like, obviously Erica was not someone that, like, everyone was, like, dying for an Erica win. Again, Tony, I think, is, like, one of the exceptions for me, but, like, no one was wanting a Tommy win. No one wanted a Chris Underwood win. Nick Wilson was kind of like a iffy one. Wendell was like an iffy one because like a lot of people want Dominic to win at that point. Ben is like one that was like obviously popular with the casual audience, but not with the fan base. So it's like Sarah Lucina, same thing. I mean, I guess not same thing. I don't know how much like people like the casual fans love Sarah Lucina, but again, I don't think everyone was happy with that. Like Adam, I get maybe. But even that, like people thought about like Adam as undeserving, right? People thought that like Adam only won because of the mom story. Obviously, people didn't like Michelle's win, so I maybe like going back to Jeremy. That was the last time we got like a truly like satisfying win from like everyone's perspective or most people's perspective. Well, no, but actually, no. Now I think about it, Jeremy also got that thing, right? Where they were like, oh, he only won because he told everyone that Val was pregnant. So, I don't know, Mike Holloway? Is that where we're at? Chris Swin was so satisfying. It was like, whatever. I mean, like, it's fine. I don't know. It's like, I mean, he was like an underdog, I guess. I'm too fair. He was really only an underdog for like 2 rounds. Or 3 rounds. Where like once the Leanne vote happens, like he's kind of on top for the rest of that. I felt like it was kind of like foreshown by that point, and really like for a lot. Actually, I do wonder. Actually, Edgic was not like really a big thing, right? I think it was Palau was the first time they have like really solid Edgic charts. But I do wonder if you were to follow. Actually, that's something I've been wanting to do. Actually, is I've been wanting to rewatch older seasons and actually like analyze it edgically in terms of like who I would have had as my top contenders at the time, like just solely off the edit, and to see like I'm sure like again like Jenna would be someone that wouldn't be top of an Edgic sort of thing, but I would be interested in like actually analyzing the edits of old seasons like that. But is UK Panama player ranking gonna be weird?
Not that I
No,
can
I'm like the top 2 is kind of
Byzantine
obvious,
Templars may
but
be bad hosts, but are decent tenants. Once they capture a
yeah, I mean like it's not.
they like to
I mean, it is kind of weird,
Because they intend to stay.
but it's not like
Well, as promised.
like I
If you
feel
want
like
to learn how to craft your
the
own bombs, I can show you.
actually I don't know. I mean, I guess it is probably one of the weirder ones now I think about it.
Move and bang.
Because like if I remember right,
Are you serious?
Look on your
yeah, I
face.
think there are some very weird placements.
I'll show you.
Especially because like the merge vote is like a wonky one where like either side like had either side won, it just would have been pagonging. So it's like really like the people that would have won from the had the other tribe won out at the merge. I forgot which one's which at this point.
Sometimes we add
Yeah,
a few
they would,
extras too, for fun. But we'll come
like, you have
to
to
that.
analyze them as, like,
For
potential
now,
winners
focus
there.
on these elements.
Okay, I don't care. I'm never going to use
You'll
this.
find many ingredients for bomb recipes.
What player do I
scattered
think
throughout the city.
Anthony BB
So
Can
keep
7
your
is
eyes
most similar
open
to?
and your nose to the ground as you move about.
That should keep me busy.
I mean, he's kind of unique, isn't he?
Have you ever seen this book?
No, it's a journal.
Like, because, like, he is
The
this,
Secret
like, dominant
Crusade
figure.
by Niccolo Polo.
He's, like, a dominant strategic figure, but, like, not one that is, like, super well integrated within the entire house. It's like he's not necessarily like a Derek,
And the Templars know this,
because like
so it's erased.
again, like he wasn't like he was someone that was like very good at building like one-on-one bonds, but like wasn't like protected by the entire house in the way that Derek was. Like that was actually more of Dane. It's just that Dane also has like it's like if you mix Dane and Anthony, I feel like you get Derek. But I feel like Anthony on his own is like I don't know who he's actually the closest to. I feel like he's kind of unique in the way that he played the game.
If you are so inclined.
Yeah, like I don't know who else would be the comparison. Who I think is the complex tribe so far? Vati, and it's not even close. But again, I don't think it matters. Like, I don't think it's going to be the end-all, be-all. But I think Vati is, I mean, like, at least from episode 1, like, it wasn't close. I think episode 2 here, it's again, we did get, like, I mean, we got some from Taku, but we also kind of didn't, did we? Like, we got the Omar-Jonathan relationship. But we didn't really, and, like, we saw that, oh, they're close to, Lindsay. But, like, we still don't know where Marianne is on the tribe. We didn't know where Mariah was on the tribe in terms of her relationships. It's like... And, like, they, like, had almost nothing in the premiere. So, yeah, it's probably Vati. I mean, I guess you could debate Ika at this point. Especially now that, like, we have, like... Drea trying to create this all-women's alliance, and we got like the re-solidification of like, she has this alliance with Roxroy and Romeo, but then she's trying to build with Swati and Tori, and then we like see that Swati and Tori plan on taking out Drea. So like, I think you could debate one of the two. It's actually, yeah, the more and more I think about it, it's definitely not Taku.
Yes. The old polo shop.
But I think Vati is probably the answer though.
Here.
Grazie.
But again, I don't think it really
also
matters.
mentioned that you were the man to talk to about
Because I don't think they're.
bombs.
I think I don't think they ever like actually followed the conflict. Like it's not like the editors were like literally saying they're saying, you know what, the winners on this tribe, we gotta give this tribe all the content right now. Like this is the tribe that we gotta give all the complexity to. Like I don't think they were actually doing it. I think they were doing it by accident a lot of the time. But I think at this point, like it just genuinely doesn't matter.
It gives us an edge.
Which season is a lot more interesting? 41.
Kinds of bombs. For assassins only, of course.
Wait, what are we talking about? I don't get the question. 41 brains was run, 42 blood versus water. What does that mean?
Everything you see.
Do you think challenge CBS will have 1 hour episodes? Yes.
Know how to use it first.
I am eager
1 hour or 2 hours, but I would assume 1 hour. It's not going to do an hour and a half like the challenge on MTV.
Let me know.
Again, CBS does not typically do hour and a half time slots unless they have another show to do an hour and a half with. Like the only time they do hour and a half time slots was with Survivor and Big Brother finales, and like when they matched those together, they would have Survivor premiere 90 minutes and then Big Brother finale 90 minutes. But then like when we get to the Survivor premiere that happened in the spring, usually those would just be 2 hour episodes instead of an hour and a half, like 2 hour like two boots or whatever typically. And then obviously recently we've had 2 hour premieres, so it's like, yeah, like I don't think CBS is that inclined to do 90-minute episodes. Oh yeah, Gamer Girl, Spoiler Girl definitely knows what's going on here. Again, like we already know 43, 44 are newbies. Like, this has already been confirmed for a while. And her just saying, oh, 45's returning players, that's something that, like, she's just posting now just to get attention to where, like, no one's gonna actually remember that she said this by the time 45 comes around. And also, I can assure you, Survivor Production is not 100% solid on them having a All-Star season for next cycle already. Free Agents is a good season? Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's my top tier. I think the one flaw of Free Agents is the casting. Particularly in the fact that I feel like it's very lopsided. To where there's, like, for both the men and women, like, there's, like, a group of, like, 3, 4, 5 people that are, like, pretty good, but then, like, everyone else really sucks. It's like with the women, you have Laurel, who's, like, above everyone else anyway, but then you have, like, Teresa, you have Cara Maria, and you can, like, debate, like, Anissa at that point. But it's, like, not the strongest group of women. Outside of that, it's like, you have what, like, Emily Fitzpatrick, you have Jasmine, you have, like, some of these other people. Men, same thing. You have Bananas, you have CT, you have, who else is there? Leroy, I guess, was pretty good on that season, right? Jordan, even though he goes out in a dumb way. But, I mean, like, you do have some strong people there, but then you also have, like, Isaac and other people. Was Swift on that season? That was the season of Swift, right? But either way, it's like a very lopsided cast. But outside of that, it is a very strong season. It's better than Johnny Riley is a big character, yeah, pretty much. 46 is probably All-Stars. That's what I would guess. Again, like, Survivor has never, in the history of the show, done an All-Star season in the first recorded season of a cycle. Every single time it has been the second season that they film of the cycle. Like, even Cambodia was the second one they filmed, even though it was the first one they aired. So, like, I don't think, like, I don't see why they would change that up. Especially when, like, typically they want to see if they can cast someone from that previous season. Emma Fitzpatrick will win Duel 3. I'm sure she will.
Merhaba, please come in.
Yeah, like, if I were to guess, I would say 46 is All-Stars. Like, I think 46 will be second chance, too. It's my guess. But, yeah, they could just wait until 50, for all we know.
How did you know?
We were on this
I think 43, 44 will have 20 people. I don't think so. I suspect they'll keep it 18, but we'll see.
May I have a look around?
Prego. Most of my best homes are in the back.
I mean, who knows, really, I guess. Like, because, like, we don't actually know the lessons they learned from this season. Because obviously 41, 42 are filmed back-to-back. 42 mostly follows 41 with, like, minor, like, changes from things that they learned from 40. 41, so, like, I don't know, like, what they actually learned from 42. That would make them change things up. And I don't know if they're gonna, like, actively, like, try to do, like, the opposite of what they did to see if, like, do other things. I don't know. But I would suspect 18 feels about right.
Have you found anything interesting?
But yeah, it could be 20.
Mio Dio. Who put that there?
Will I do 46 casting around this time? I will if there's rumors of it. I won't do it out of the blue,
Why
though.
don't we find out?
Like, if Redmond comes out like he did with 42 and said, hey, it could be All-Stars, then yeah, I'll do cast speculation video. Which, by the way, is funny that 42... it's funny that 42 is just now happening when I made that video over 2 years ago of 42 cast speculation. But again, like, I'm not going to do it, like, out of the blue. Don't think 3 tribes to begin with unless there's a theme. I don't know, again, like, I think it matters on, like, how much they liked it here. And the way that they talk, like the way that Jeff talked about 41, I suspect that they liked it. I just don't know if they're like I don't know if they're gonna like try new things or if they're just gonna try to do similar things with 43, 44.
What he's doing. All he knows is that somewhere in the city.
This is a big city.
Toxel.
That was really funny that John's message to Kyle was, oh yeah, that was hilarious. The entire, like, John Party's message to Kyle was like everything that he ends up not doing throughout the week, which is hilarious. I intentionally gave my top 5 in the power rankings as all green. Talking about like all Vati tribe. I'm trying. Who's on the tribe again? There's 6 people on the tribe, right? So there's like one person that's not in your top 5. Again, like I would have. So like I can see Mike, Daniel, high. I can see it. Again, I don't personally like. I would have them lower, but like I can see it. Jenny, like I can see it. And who's the other person? Lydia. Who's Lydia? Oh, it's Lydia and Chanel, right? I guess there's like an argument for Chanel. I'm too fair. There's an argument for Lydia as well. It's just that I don't. Yeah, like really, anyone from Green Tribe can still win. Like, there's no one in like on Vati that is like that's completely dead. Like I think like Tori and Romeo are, which I actually now that I think about it, they're both from Ika tribe, aren't they? It's insane though that actually that Taku's down to 4 members already. Yeah, Chanel, High, Mike, Daniel, Jenny. Yeah, I can see it. I wouldn't personally have Chanel that high. Like, I have Chanel, 10? And I have High at, like... Actually, I have High at 9 now, don't I? But yeah, like, the other 3, I think are all people I would have, like, bordering top 5. Like, I have Jenny and... Where the fuck my list go? There we go. Jenny and... Daniel on my top 5, and then Mike's, like, right outside it. Dang it, like, I don't know, like, Jenny's a weird, like, I don't feel good at, like, I feel like Jenny, like, to me, it's, like, it's seeming like she got that, like, little bit of personal content in that first episode to make you think that she's, like, a winner contender, but then, like, this episode she doesn't really get anything. We haven't really gotten any establishment of her relationships outside of, like, we know that her and Mike are close, but we hear nothing from her about Mike, and, like, to me, that's not a good sign. So, like, really, I'm having her still, like, as high as I do, solely based off that first episode. But, like, I'm thinking, like, yeah, I don't think she is the winner, realistically. Off. Is Kyle in consideration for one of the worst players in BB Can? I don't think he's one of the worst players necessarily yet. I think he is, again, worst HOH for sure. I think he is the worst HOH. I think you can debate, like, Sydney with BB Can 5 with Ganger and Netta. But, yeah, I think Kyle's probably the one that did the most actively bad work across his HOH. Especially because, like, that was a double eviction as well. Where am I going here? Not that one. Actually, I think you need to kill them anyway, don't you, at this point? But yeah, like, I don't think he's necessarily one of the worst players just yet. Again, the fact that he was at least able to put himself in that, like, potential Derek position through the first 2 weeks, where, like, again, coming out of week 2, like, he's essentially, if he just puts up Betty, he's probably in control of the power structure moving forward. It's just that he's a fucking idiot and doesn't. But, like, I don't think that, like, I think the fact that he was even able to do that to begin with is enough to, like, not put him as the worst player. Or one of the worst players. In terms of, like, bottom 10, probably. But, yeah, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. There's still room to do a lot worse. We'll see. Sob stories are bad, and I think they thought the audience would enjoy that coming out of COVID. To a degree, but I feel like that's the direction Survivor's been going for a while now. I don't think it's a COVID thing. I think that's just the way Survivor's been planning on doing things since, like, what, Ghost Island? Like, Ghost Island, like, I think is the first time that I noticed that, oh, they're doing, like, these Ghost Island segments just to give these players, like, their sob stories and their, like, personal journeys and that sort of thing. And I feel like now they're just, like, going fully all in on it. But like, I feel like that's the direction Survivor's been trying to go in for a while. Which again, is not the direction I personally wanted to go in, but I think Jeff just kind of loves that direction. Okay, I need this. Can I not hit him? Perfect, that worked out. What the fuck? Okay, whatever. Is Neil from BB9 the most invisible contestant in the show's history? Possibly. What episode did he get booted in? Did he leave in? It was like episode 2, right? 2 or 3? And he got 0 DRs the entire time? I think the only time he was actually like truly on screen was when him and Josh got paired up. And like I guess like during competitions. Well, I guess the first competition, I don't even know. Was he there at the not Veto. Was he there at the first actual HOH comp? I don't remember, but either way, I mean like he for sure is up there. Actually, I mean, maybe he's the most forgettable Big Brother player. And it's kind of weird, too, because, like, it's like, obviously, he's so forgettable that he becomes notable. I think that's, like, the thing that's, like, tough with, like, who's the most forgettable person, is that, like, usually it's not, like, someone that's, like, a first boot, because you usually remember the first boots. So it's, like, it's usually, like, a second or third boot, probably. Really? Wait, I didn't even know you can get that guy to protect you. Betty did the most campaigning for saving herself to stay. I mean, like, Betty is someone that, like, I feel like this week's edit, for the most part, has been accurate. I'll say that, like, I feel like they kind of just wasted time showing, like, Betty campaigning on the show. He's like, none of that actually mattered. Like, Betty did not get saved because of her campaigning. Like, she got saved because of, because Kyle was Kyle. Oh, wait, it's the, fuck, that's why I'm fucking this up. It's because it's on the top floor. I'm not on the top floor yet. Yeah, this is where you're able to hit him, right? I guess now it's too late, though, because I'm detected, but whatever. Jillian from 19, you're talking about? I feel like she's probably up there. And probably wouldn't be, like, my personal pick, but, like, I could definitely see that, like, being one of the answers. Do I think Cliff is the best old player in BB history? Possibly. I don't have like the full list in front of me, but I would suspect he's at least like top 3 for sure. I mean, to be fair, he's probably number 1 realistically. Because what, the only like older guy to win Big Brother has been what, Evil Dick, which is like whatever. And then I mean, like, yeah, you have like a Jack, you have a Jerry. Yeah, I feel like it probably is Cliff. I've never done it this way, by the way. Whatever, fine. That was dumb. Queen Rennie is a much better player. You're not gonna like my worst players to make the jury list. I don't remember if she made it on there, actually. I know she was in contention, at least. Do I think Donnie's a good player? I think he's one that has potential. The game he actually played in that season was not great, but he did have good instincts at points. The problem, he wasn't able to actually, like, to do anything with those. And, like, people, like, thought of him as, like, schemy, even though he wasn't really. Yeah, that is inappropriate. Jeff from BB17. I mean, like, I would say he is up there if it wasn't for the fact he was on Amazing Race. I think that, like, kind of makes him, like, a little bit more memorable, I guess. But yeah, I mean, he's also up there. Do I think it was a misstep for Holly to get rid of Nick on BB21 when he was probably going to be loyal to them after Taco Tuesday? I don't remember dynamics well enough. But I know Holly didn't have the greatest relationship with Nick. I know Jackson did. But like I don't know if it was like the optimal move for Holly herself. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to think. So, yeah, like, who wins? It's Jackson wins the HOH next week, right? But he's also, like, not in the greatest position. Like, where if they hadn't won HOH, they would have been targeted. So, I don't know. I mean, it's probably, like, debatable. Is Donnie better than Keith? Are we talking about Keith Nail? If so, I think Donnie has more potential to actively get himself to the end than Keith. Though Keith is overall more, like, playable person, typically. Like, Keith is someone that I think, like, when you see Keith, you know there's nothing else going on with Keith. He is not this, like, secret mastermind. He's Keith. While with Donnie, it's like that was the problem with him, is that everyone assumed that he was much smarter than what he actually was. But yeah, like I would have more faith in Donnie to like actively play the game. But I think Keith is overall like a more playable person in the game, to where like probably always makes it far into the season at least. But also is probably someone that's gonna like actively do bad things here and there. I would not consider Shelly from BB17 as older. Like, how old was Shelly? She was like 30, right? Like, she wasn't that much older. Like, for older, I'm thinking like 40 is kind of what I think with older. Okay. Would Holly have been targeted? I mean, like, if Chrissy won, she would target Nick. Never mind, I read that wrong. Potentially, right? But then again, like, Jackson and Holly were always going to be the backups, at least, there. If not, they just would have outright targeted Jackson and Holly because they are a duo at that point. And also, Tommy had a really good relationship with Nick, to where I do think Tommy could have persuaded her to go for it's not that one. I don't know why I'm even doing that. It's this one at the end, right? Yeah, Tommy could have persuaded her to go for Jackson over Nick at that point. She was like, was she 34? I didn't remember her being that old. Oh shit, I dropped the controller. Whatever. It's fine. Yeah, she was not that. I mean, she was definitely not 40. Like, she's probably 40 now. How old is she now? Let's see. She's actually exactly 40 now. So she was 33 at the time of BB17. It's been 7 years? That's insane to me. Yeah, it has. Wow. It's been 7 years since BB17. Yeah, that's so weird to think about. Hope Tommy comes back. Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't back for All-Stars. To be honest, I don't know if Tommy, like, I don't know if he's on their radar then, if he wasn't back for All-Stars. And supposedly wasn't asked, so it's like, I don't know if we will actually see him back, but, like, I would like to see it. Is Tommy a top 10 non-winning player?
What did you find?
He's top 10. Was he top? He was top 10 one time non-winning, right? I don't think he was top 10 non-winning though.
And here is my shop.
Look at the margins.
Strange symbols. And these are titles of books.
I forgot how poorly these videos
Rare
did, by the
books.
way.
A few of these have
These
not
like
been
Big Brother
seen for
top
more than a
10s.
millennium.
Niccolo Polo
I
said
guess
these
like
books are
non-winning
the
one
city.
time's like okay,
These
but
maps should tell us where.
yeah, non-winning did not do well. Like, that video only got 4,600 views. Non-winning one time got 7,000, so that's like
From what I can
fine.
tell, I need to find these 3 books first. They may contain clues to locate the rest of these.
Let's see, who do I have?
Most
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did not make
Another was
non-winning.
found beneath Topkapi Palace, but there is still time to reach the others.
Yeah, he was number 6 on
Men who do not read. Sophia.
non-winning
decipher
one
this
time
map.
though.
Help me find these books.
Can I borrow them when you are finished?
We will work something out.
Yeah, with All Stars it's tough to do a player ranking because there's just so much like preseason baggage that plays into that season. You do for All Star seasons in general, but I feel like the original All Star is probably the one that has the like most amount of outside of game circumstances leading to boots.
This is one of Altair's 5 keys.
Who's a better player, Xander, Mariah? Yeah, that's obviously a very tough question. Like, come on.
It is like nothing.
Again, like I think Xander played a bad game. Obviously, the answer is
At our
Xander.
headquarters. See, I will. What brings you this way?
I am coordinating.
You'd rather see Lawan play 10 times over Tommy?
The bazaar, the mercenaries
Yeah,
near the
I agree with you, but
and the
whatever.
Romneys in the Constantine district.
You are spread.
John CBS video did pretty well. I mean, it did like what is it at now? Like it did well for a non-Survivor Big Brother video. But like in terms of like in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's fine. 6,000.
We may
Yeah.
travel by our network of tunnels. The air down there is a little foul, but the rats are no bigger than dogs.
Yeah, so like I mean that's like kind of I mean that's actually like solid. I didn't realize that my Horizon spoiler review got a bit more views recently. By the way, that started off like really bad. Like that started off like worst video game video I've ever done. Which again, like that's saying a lot. But yeah, it does look like it picked up a little bit at least, to where it's like 127 views. Like it's better. I didn't even realize I hit 10,200 videos. So Kyle Moore become a lowercase jury goat. I don't know if he's a jury goat. Where like I feel, especially if he gets to the end by like with him being on the bottom at this point, I don't think he's going to lose a jury vote necessarily. It's just that he's so unlikely to get to that point at this point. Yeah, like no one respects him now, but like again, we're at the final 14? So it's like if he somehow makes it to final 2, like he is for sure like not going to be a GOAT by that point. But yeah, I'm pretty far behind Chad at this point. Where are we? Do I have a plan for when I want to stop making YouTube videos? Not really. Like the intention is to do it until I die, pretty much. But we'll see. Again, like I mean, obviously, like at the point that I'm at in my life right now, I'm single, and really outside of like work, have nothing really going on. Like I mean, like really, most of my like pretty much all my free time, goes into things related to the channel. So it's like, obviously that could change moving forward in my life. Like it's not like that's gonna be the way that, or like I mean, you wouldn't think at least. The way that my life is going to go for the entirety of it. But for the foreseeable future, I do not see myself stopping making YouTube videos. Is Kyle better than Devin and Frenchie? I think he is as a player. And I mean, like, I think still, like... I don't know, it's tough. It's tough because it's like Devin came into his HOH week already on the bottom, and just like further cements himself as being on the bottom through his HOH week. While Frenchie, again, it was week 1, so like he was like setting up the power structure. But like even then, like he at least still gets his target out, right? By the end of it. Well, like Kyle's not getting his target out, and also like came into the week number 1, like one of the top people, best positioned people in the game, and is coming out of it one of the worst positioned people in the game. So like I think it's all a matter of like how are you ranking them? Are you ranking them based on like how you think of them as players? Which in that case, like I would say Kyle's a better overall player than Devin and Frenchie, because again, like he was able to better insulate himself than either of those two ever did, and had that power structure together for 2 weeks, and destroys it over the course of like 3 days. But still, like I think the fact that he was able to build that to begin with at least puts him above those two. In terms of HOH weeks, again, like it matters like what do you put more credence into? Someone that like came in super high and then like it can't, like comes in super well positioned, comes out of it not as well, like obviously like poorly positioned, or like someone who, I mean, to be fair though, I mean like yeah, I mean I think actually now I think about it, Kyle's the worst. Kyle's the worst in terms of that, in terms of his HOH week, because like even in like his nominations and everything, like even with like Devin at least does the correct nominations off the bat. Like he at least does like nominate people not in his alliance. Like it's like with Kyle, it's like he instantly starts by nominating 2 different people in his like 2 different alliances. So it's like whatever. My friends don't watch reality TV. That's the thing. I do have a coworker that does, but even then, like, not like a massive fan. So I don't really have anyone in my real life to talk about reality television, and even like video games and stuff. Like I don't really like have anyone that's like into the same games that I am. But like I feel like I know people that like are into video games, obviously, but like not into like single player narrative based games like I am. Oh, this is the Janissary one.
I have seen happier men at the gallows.
Crack wise elsewhere, Effendim.
I think Herman is number 1 in power rankings right now. Yeah, I think there's a serious debate for it.
Can I help?
Perhaps for centuries.
Like I think we'll have to see the like reaction from Kyle and Gino and stuff, like to see if are they going to target Herman moving forward. Where if they are, then obviously he's not going to be number 1. But if he's able to get out of this week like still not being targeted, then I do think he's in a very good spot. I don't think he's as well. Like the thing, I think a minor issue is that I do think like someone like Summer is better insulated in the game than Herman moving forward, where like if Herman does fully become loyal to that side, he doesn't have the same connections to everyone on that side that like someone like Summer does. But I will say I think Herman is probably the best player on this cast. I think the way that he's played the game so far is pretty well. It's just that obviously he's had like circumstances happen that were a bit out of his control that caused his position to lessen. Was he ever well insulated? Yeah, I mean we're talking about Kyle, I'm assuming. I mean he was pretty well. I mean again, he was in the center of the house. I mean he had the Savage 7 that we're all keeping him safe. He had the, how the fuck did I die there? Like I don't think I've ever had that happen before, where I died at this part, but whatever. Yeah, I had the Savage 7, he had the Retreat, he also had individual deals with Helena, with Kevin, with Jess. It's like he was in a very strong position coming into this week. And like that was part of like the issue, is that he was so tightly aligned with everyone that I think that's like what caused him to go on like the massive spiral that he did, is because he was like unsure of who exactly he should target at that point, because he was so well insulated with like almost everyone, like pretty much everyone but Betty. right? I mean, like, was there anyone else? But like, he pretty much had deals with almost everyone in the house. So, and up until this week, they had no reason to not be loyal to him. Why did my Yu-Gi-Oh video do so well? I don't know. It's my best performing, like, non-survivor video, right? Which is kind of insane. That and my Assassin's Creed DLC ranking. Like, I don't get why those two videos are the two videos that, like, did really well. What is going on? Like, why am I being, targeted? Whatever. Do we credit that? Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about. Yeah, he also had the alliance with Marty and Gino. That was also helping him too. Do we credit that installation to him or Marty and Gino though? I mean, you still credit him to a degree, even if it's like, oh, like a JC. Well, but then again, like, Kyle was still in that alliance though. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, even like in situations where it's like, oh, like Gino is super close to JC and Steph, it's like Kyle was still in the alliance with them in the retreat. Why didn't he just throw the HOH? I mean, like, well, Josh was in the lead, right? And I think he was a bit skeptical of Josh. Or, like, even though they had the Savage 7, like, Josh is someone that didn't talk game to anyone. And because that, like, the Marty, Gino, and Kyle contingent was, like, worried about Josh. So I think he didn't want Josh to win. That, and also, I think just in general, like, I mean, like, say what you will about Kyle. Like, Kyle at least understands the benefit of winning HOH and has the knowledge of what it can do for your game. The problem is that he did everything wrong with it. But at least he understands that winning HOH is, for the most part, a good thing in most situations. And again, if he just targeted Betty, he's in the best position in the house. Like, he is, at that point, looking like a Derek Levasseur-esque figure at that point, with how many connections he has in the game.
You see what I mean? Why do we always get a Trelly and shit?
But he just didn't take the easy route.
Lead the way.
I do wonder, like how much animosity does he have towards Moose, though? And yeah, thank God he didn't go. Like, in terms of the TV, like, thank God he didn't do it. Because it would have been fucking boring. So again, like, even though it's like he ruined his game, oh yeah, and it made like the house like really hectic. Like, at least it's making for good TV. So at least there's that.
I've got to get out of here.
I did see that. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney is gonna do something Marvel related.
I like the way you widen your eyes and nostrils.
That's cool. Looks like I'm gonna maybe crapping out again. And we're still live, so whatever. I mean, squeeze. How's my mental state after watching Terrible's Forever UK season? Again, that was like, actually that was like 6 months ago now, wasn't it? That was a while ago now. But to make it worse, I actually watched because that was when I was on vacation for like 2 weeks, and I literally spent 4 days of my vacation watching Australian Survivor 2002, Survivor Marquesas, and Survivor UK Panama, all back to back to back. And yeah, that was, oh yeah, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, that was lovely. So that was obviously lovely. Which again, Marquesas is fine, but I mean, Australian Survivor 2002 and Survivor UK Panama were not ideal. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think he must have like some sort of animosity towards Moose outside the game. Because like, even before this week, he was like not trusting a Moose.
They probably
Oh, I'm an
stole
idiot.
this
That's
money
why.
from someone else.
That's not gonna hit, is it? So I feel like that probably played a factor into him wanting to target Moose here as well.
What is happening?
Yeah, Marquise is a solid season. Like, I mean, I still have it like on the bottom. Do I have a bottom 10? I don't remember. But it's definitely like bottom half for sure. But it's like it's still a solid season despite that. And with Survivor US, it's like even the seasons I like don't have as highly ranked, I still do enjoy. Like even like Cook Island, like, as much as I talk about like how much I don't like Cook Islands or whatever, or how like Cook Islands is like one of the lesser seasons of the show. Like I still think Cook Islands is a solid season of reality television. Like, I think it's when you get to Australian Outback and like Thailand, it's like kind of becomes a bit more hazy for me. But even then, like they're still like probably average seasons of reality television. I'm not answering your question about Xander's dick. Yeah, Will Neff. Yeah, that he did finish watching Here's His Villains, and that was hilarious. But then also, what's funny is that, like, I don't know if you've seen on Reddit or anything, but like this caused this like massive change of heart from Russell Hantz, which is just hilarious. That like all of a sudden now Russell Hantz like posted a video on his YouTube channel that I now know why I lost Heroes vs Villains, and like he like did an interview with Will Neff like immediately afterwards, where like he's like like he seems to at least kind of get it now. It's like that's something. Yeah, and that was I did watch that stream, and like Peridium was on there too. So that was interesting. I'm interested in seeing like what season he watches next, because I know he talked about how he might hold off on another Survivor season, like do a Big Brother season or something. But like I would be interested in seeing him watch like really a lot of seasons. Yeah, him for Game Changers, yeah. But like even like the bad seasons, like Redemption Island and like South Pacific, or like what's perceived to be a bad season in South Pacific. Like I feel like there's a lot of fun reaction things to get from him there. Oh, I'm an 8. I'm just paying attention. Have I ever talked to Peridium? No. I've never directly talked to any other content creator.
God preserve me! I was a fool!
I've like talked to Thanamail through like chat here when he shows up here and there, but yeah, like outside that, like I haven't really talked to any other content creator. And like, again, like Russell Hantz did contact me one time.
Haha, the old tricks are always the best.
Yeah, like, I didn't even know Peridium knew who I existed until like it was like one of the earlier streams. I think it was actually we were playing Revelations. I'm pretty sure. I think it was like so. Yeah, it was like one of the first streams I did, where like someone showed up and said that they just came from Peridium's stream, and like that Peridium knew who I was. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that was a thing.
Quite often, see.
Did you know that this word was born from the
Mind you, I don't know if it's a favorable thing. I don't know if like it's like a
offensive.
A situation where I'm looked at too favorably from
Eastern Persia and beyond.
other people.
Yet,
But
somehow we have become citizens of a land we have never seen.
People are quick to judge and slow to correct themselves.
People are stupid.
Sometimes.
let's see.
Ezio,
Reach out to
the
Survivor
simplest
Spencer do
answer
collab
is
video.
always the best.
I think I'm good. I did hear his voice. That was something. I did hear. I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was looking at so on YouTube in your analytics, you can see the top like 15 channels that like your audience watches, and like he was like number 15 on that. So like I clicked on his thing and like I heard his voice, so that was something. I heard his voice before.
Oh, you have our thanks, Ezio, and you can count on us from here on out for anything.
Oh yeah, Gumball shows up here, right? Yeah, I did see that he's starting to do his own video. He does a lot of power ranking stuff.
Some money.
But yeah, he's here every now and then too. But Yeah, good on him for doing those, because that's what I personally didn't want to do. In terms of making like these like weekly like power rankings every single week and like the same sort of video over and over again. So I mean, yeah, cool that someone else is doing it. Would I ever collab with Peridium? I'm not really like that incentivized to collab with anyone else. Not that I think they would actually like really want to. Like I feel like if it was situated, it would be like I would have to reach out to them, and even then, like I don't really care to. But also, I just feel like in terms of video philosophy, I think we have very different. Like we just make videos in very different ways. With I mean too, for like they're like the way that like IdleDAO and Peridium and whatnot, like they make it in much more professional ways. Like I'm literally just a fucking idiot that just puts together images and whatnot. Which by the way, I did listen. So my Survivor UK Panama retrospective came out today. I did listen to it, and I'm a fucking idiot. I left in like there are 2 points in the video where I left in a mistake of mine. So it's like the same line plays twice, 2 points of the video, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I'm just a fucking like bumbling idiot that does videos. Like they actually do things a lot more professional. Then also again, I also think just like topic wise, we do radically different videos. Where like with like these other YouTubers, with like IdleDAO and Peridium in particular, and like Athanamail too, and comes to Big Brother. It's like they all do like very specific video ideas, like videos that are like so entrenched within the show itself in terms of like top 5 rewards, like bullshit like that I don't care about. Well, like I talk a lot more about like either game related things or casting related things. Well, like they talk more so about like random events on the show, I guess, or like random aspects of the show that I don't really care enough to talk about most of the time. And to be fair, like I am doing like I've done like similar things recently, but like even then, like in a radically different way. Like the way that they do videos, they're like, top 5 tribal council performances or something like that. It's like I'm just gonna fucking do them all. I'm gonna rank everyone. Like fuck that. I'm not gonna do a fucking top 5 of something. I could just do a ranking of everything. Like even recently, of like again the way that like I did a top jury speech video. It's like again, most people like Peridium, IdleDAO, whatnot. They would do like top 5 jury speeches, whatnot. I'm fucking doing top 25. I'm not gonna fucking bother. Like again, like I want my video. Like I don't. Again, like just the way they make videos is just not the way that I personally want to make videos. In terms of just the topics that they cover. Sure it wasn't intentional, but I finished the BBAU 14 review yesterday, and you cut off the video before the outro is finished. Is that a thing? Again, like for all I know, that probably is a thing. I wonder like how many like little mistakes I do make in the editing of a lot of videos, because I'm sure there's a lot more than I know. Like there are certain videos that I know for sure I did make, but I do wonder like how many there are. Like I'm not talking about like things that I say wrong, or like I maybe like say the wrong phrase at a point, or like where I say like Survivor instead of Big Brother or something like that. But like I'm talking about like where I actually like leave in, or like I either accidentally cut out something that was supposed to be there, or where I accidentally leave in something that was supposed to be there. I do wonder how many times that's happened. Like I know it's obviously the Survivor UK Panama video. I know in my BB2 video, I'm pretty sure my original BB2 video, I think there's a mistake left in there. Alright, I'll answer your question. Do you think casuals love Xander Wait, do you think the casuals love Xander and think he's the best player ever? I mean, like, I think the casuals think he's a very good player. I don't know if you're going to find, like, that many casuals say, oh, Xander's the best player, in terms of, like, having, like, above, like, a Boston Rob, or something to that nature, but, like, I'm sure, they're definitely out there. I do feel like Xander's one of these people, though, that's probably going to be forgotten about in a few years from the casual. Like, I feel like 2 seasons from now, are the casual audience really going to remember Xander? Probably not. Yeah, I do want to do a top 10 Survivor character video. I want to get more into doing more entertainment-based rankings. And it's similar topics to what, like, you know, what I talked about before, with, like, what Pretty and IOTA would do here and there, but, like, more so, like, in my style. Where, again, like, I think top 10 Survivor characters is a good one. Like, I already did jury speeches. I did, my Survivor auction ranking is what's coming out on Saturday. So, like, that's one of those style of videos. Like, those style of videos I do want to do more of moving forward. Yeah, I do know. Yeah, Cache, I said wrong. I knew that one. Dude, I knew that one, like, even, like, by the time I finished, like, essentially, next time I saw her name, I was like, oh, I definitely said that wrong. But I was like, whatever, who cares at this point? Do a video where I rank the best players in each. So you're saying, like, determine who is the best player in each season, then rank all of those best players. Like, maybe? I feel like it kind of, like, the thing I don't like about that is the fact that it does, like, and the thing, it doesn't really matter, but, like, it kind of spoils, like, who I would have at the top of future player rankings I plan on doing. But, I mean, realistically, it doesn't really matter. A few old videos you kept in your breathing breaks, and it's always kind of fun. Yeah, that's why I feel like I left one in like, I think it was my BB2 video and maybe some more. But yeah. Yeah, like, the way that, and, like, the way that I, like, edit the videos, essentially, like, I have, like, around, like, what, like, however much of audio is available on the timeline at once, without, like, it being tough to cut. Essentially, like, I edit, like, all the audio that's on screen at once, and then, like, go back and delete the things that, I need to cut out. So, like, with stuff like that, it's more than likely, like, I tried to cut it, but then, like, I just forgot, like, I just, like, missed the actual delete button when clicking on it or something to that nature. Do I ever lose my voice from 2.5 hour video? Not really lose my voice, but my, like, throat hurts and stuff like my, what was it? My Survivor runner-up ranking, international. That was all one day. That 2 hours, 44 minutes. And again, the raw recording was like 5 hours. So yeah, that was fucked. And to, like, most videos, like, I'm recording, like, I very rarely just record one video and that's it. Like, tomorrow I'm going to. Again, tomorrow I'll probably record the challenge season ranking, and that's the only thing I plan on recording. But yeah, most of the time I do record multiple things at once.
Altair, we have been betrayed. The enemy has overrun the castle.
You live.
And Al-Mualim.
But yeah, like, definitely longer recording sessions. Like, usually it's like by like the 3 hour-ish mark. Is like, I mean, maybe not 2 hour mark, I would say. Is usually when the voice starts to get fucked. When's the season ranking coming out? I don't have a solid date. As of right now, the latest it's coming out is June 1st. Like, that's the date that it's currently on the schedule for, but I do want to see if I can move it up. Because, like, realistically, I wanted it out before All-Stars 3 started. So, I don't know, like, it's the problem is that it's kind of like tough to. Actually, let's see this right now. I mean, like, I can if I bump my SA final juror ranking. I feel like that'll be a thing, and then at that point it'll probably come out like end of April. But I don't know if it's worth it. We'll see. It changes per video. But at this point, most videos are without scripts, but I do have, like, notes in front of me. But in terms of, like, season reviews and stuff like that, those have, like, full-blown scripts. Which, by the way, again, I got caught up on the script of Australian Survivor. The script up until this point for Blood vs. Water is already 3,000 words longer than the entire script of Brains vs. Brawn, which is very worrying. It's about 3,000 words away from being longer than my 41 script. Which, it will probably end up being longer. Mind you, obviously, this is like double the episode count. So, like, technically, I'm not talking about each episode for as long as 41. But still. Yeah, I know again, like, I know I mispronounce things. Like, I'm well aware of that part of it. I'm more so talking about, like, what I was talking about earlier is more so, like, actual, true, like, editing mistakes. Expecting 38 rumors? I mean, like, isn't it supposed to be, because what, filming is at the end of May, right? So, like, probably, like, May, I would guess. Maybe, at best, end of April, but it's still probably going to be a little while. How's the season of AU? Pretty mediocre at this point.
And your mentor dies.
The thing is, I feel like there is a lot to talk about, though, with AU. Like, even though it is pretty bad at this point, like, even in episodes where, like, it's a very obvious boot, I feel like there's still, like, a good chunk of stuff to talk about.
I am no traitor.
Especially because, like, a lot of, like, there's a lot of, like, stale gameplay that gets, that, like, kind of comes from elements of the Blood vs. Water theme, whether that be due to people that were cast because of their loved one, or people that, are obviously making certain moves because they're there with their loved one. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of things to talk about. Is JLP better than Jeff? I don't think so. Like, I mean, for me personally, no, but, like, I know a lot of people do have JLP above Jeff.
Where is your sense of fraternity?
Like, I never liked the JLP until really the last, like, 2 seasons. Like, really up until, like,
I am surprised.
yeah, I'm really at best All-Stars, but probably even later than that. Like, I don't know, I never really clicked with JLP until a bit more recently, where I feel like now he's a bit more in tune to the game. And I feel like he's just, like, becoming a better host as time goes on, obviously. But, like, season 1, I really did not like JLP. Can I see MJ coming to the main show? Probably not, unless it's, like, season 40 ends up being old school versus new school or something like that. Then maybe for that theme, but I don't really see MJ going to the main show. Then is it true that John A. accepted 38? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to 38 rumors, if there are any out there. By the way, we did get some updates to the 38 cast, right? Or not 38, the CBS cast, since last time I streamed, right? Where, like a couple Love Island people, more Love Island people are on the cast now. And then we know the alternates now, which is like Mike Holloway is one of them. So, that's some updates. I love this conversation, by the way.
You offered him a chance to salvage his dignity. Why?
No man should pass from this world without knowing some kindness.
Let's see.
But he shunned your
Yeah, Shannon is on the official cast, where before she was an alternate. Cashel? I've never heard of this person in my entire life, from Love Island 1, is on the cast now. So, yeah, Olivia, Josh, and Florida, all from Love Island, are alternates.
I did not know him.
And then Mike Holloway is an alternate.
He was an assassin, above all.
You too were born into this order. Do you regret it?
How can I regret the only life I've ever known?
That's a great line too.
You may find a way in time. And it will be up to
yeah, really weird that Mike Holloway's always like, yeah, like why is CBS refusing to cast Mike Holloway at this point? It's so weird that he's always like in the running, but like never gets onto actual cast. Yeah, Khan's on the jury feels like ages ago. Yeah, I was like just looking at, I was just looking at my like folder with the Australian Survivor stuff, and like seeing the picture of Kate made me think like this person was on Australian Survivor. This is a thing. Yeah, I mean this season feels like it's like been so fucking long at this point.
What does he want the future to know or to learn?
Even looking at like Alex. Alex was a person. Jay was a person. Wonder if a girl will ever go out with you? Probably at some point. I feel like it's tough to not at some point in your life. I mean, unless, like, obviously you're not into women. But you would assume it would happen at some point. Where am I going? I'm a fucking idiot. What sequence am I on? Am I still sequence 3? Oh, I'm doing the Sentinel, right? The Sentinel part 2. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Ben's on the cast again. That's fucking weird, too. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, Ben's on the cast again. So, like, essentially Mike is the alternate for Ben again. He wasn't an alternate for Winners at War, right? He was just, like, outright not cast? Or was he an alternate? I don't remember anymore, actually. But then Game Changers, he was, they picked JT over him. Yes, it feels random that Andy was on the show for one episode. He was an alternate, yeah. Like, I remember Tina was someone that... Like, I didn't remember if they were alternates or if they were just, like, people that were cut at the last second. Need both Mike and Dom. I mean, actually, to be fair, that's probably like a closer match archetype-wise when it comes to challenge. When it comes to Big Brother, when it comes to Survivor players, I think they're different. But when it comes to challenge, they are kind of in the same archetype. We're like, how old is Mike Holloway now? Like, Mike Holloway's like over 40, right? 45. So, yeah. Okay, so that's on part 2. Still sad that Rich and Tina were on Winners of War. It's sad. I mean, I think at this point, like, I've kind of, like obviously I have to accept. But, like, it's like with Rich, it's like, I get it. I mean, I think it would have been great to have the first ever winner and someone that's iconic as Richard Hatch on Winners at War, but, like, I get it, not having him on. Especially after Dan stuff. Tina, though, like, I still think that's, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's like, who do you replace her with? Like, really, I think Tina being on there is more so for, like, legacy than it is for, like, Tina actually being that interesting on a return. Because, like, I'll be honest, like, I mean, I probably was higher on her at the time that Winners at War was happening. But I think at this point, I don't know how much potential Tina really has on a modern season of Survivor. Where, like, I think after seeing her in Blood vs. Water, I think you kind of recognize that she's not really all there, game-wise. Yeah, I mean, Tina over Amber, I guess, would have been... Like, it's weird that, like, I didn't need Amber on Winners at War, and, like, as an individual player, I wouldn't want Amber on Winners at War, but to just have, like, Rob and Amber both back for Winners at War really does up the, up the prestige of that cast. And when it comes to Denise, I feel like I would have been more interested in a Denise return than Tina. just like fell off like a billion things. I mean, it's hard to be worse than Amber. On Winners at War.
News of the Traitor Valley. Have you found him?
He found us, Mentor.
Oh yeah, Rich would have been one of the first few boots. I can guarantee you that. Was every winner called? I don't know. I mean, we know that every winner wasn't
Do
called.
not negotiate with men who use hostages as leverage. We hunt them down. And
But
eliminate them.
the sense that I get is that not many winners were called outside of the ones that got in the cast. Where it's like, we know that like Tina, Mike, and then, yeah, Chris Underwood. I don't know why I just did that. Were like in consideration. But then like, Vesepia's confirmed she was never called. I don't think Todd was ever called, but I might be wrong on that. Obviously Rich is Rich. Then like, I don't know about Jenna. I can guarantee you Brian Heidick was not called.
Any news of the
Oh wait, fuck, I restarted the mission, didn't I? I forgot it wasn't restarted. Whatever, it's fine.
2 of our brothers were kidnapped from this den earlier today. Now Wally is demanding that we hand over...
Oh yeah, Earl, I forgot about Earl too. Earl was obviously
Do
in
not
consideration.
negotiate with men who use hostages as leverage. We hunt them down and we eliminate them.
Then we should split up and search Galata now.
Was Natalie White actually an alternate though? I feel like that's just a story you hear where like there's no actual like, where's the actual proof that Natalie White was an alternate? Yeah, Earl had to drop because of his wife. Because his wife was having like a tough pregnancy, right?
Did you run from
Yeah, I thought Ben was done too, really, after... Like, I'm surprised he's on the challenge. And also, to be fair, same thing Sarah Lucina. Mind you, it is the challenge and not Survivor, to where, like, maybe they're expecting, like, it to be better. And, like, dude, I would also not be surprised if, it, like, they're on because they knew the other was going to be on. But still, kind of surprised. By the way, we didn't even talk about the fucking challenge workout series. That was a thing. That was announced. Like, fucking bizarre. Why does online community hate Ben? I think it's two-folded. It's one, political beliefs, and two, the fact that... Well, I mean, I guess it's threefold. It's political beliefs, two, not liking the way he got to the end, and also thinking he was benefited by twists. And then also, I think the online community is very pro-Chrissy. So I think that's really, like, the top three reasons.
How would you like an epitaph phrase, Captain? God preserve me.
It's weird that this is Dom's return. Yes, I said that right in my cast reaction. That like who would have thought that of all the like Dom Abate would be on a challenge season before he got on another season of Survivor. It's like, how bizarre. Yeah, Ben's Republican. Yeah, even like Denise, like people like started to bash on Denise, right? Because like she was talking about how you like even though you disagree with because like she was talking about Ben, like even though you disagree with your friends politically, it doesn't mean that you can't be friends. Like people were like upset at her for saying that.
Look, wait a minute.
I mean, we never heard from Ben himself that he's Republican, but then, like, he,
Was it Valley who did this to you?
and really, I don't even know if it's necessarily, like, a Republican, it's more so, like, Trump supporter thing. But anyway, like, we know from, like, other people that he is. Sarah hinted at going in the challenge last year. Again, like, Actually, now I think about it, I think I do remember that, don't I? Yeah. This was 57 weeks ago. So that was... Yeah, that was about a year ago. So, obviously that's before CBS was accepted. Yeah, maybe she got the call for, like... Or maybe she just, like, wanted to go on the challenge. I guess that's probably more of a thing. Watch Earl be on next season. I doubt it, but like again, like I think he could be on the next like major All-Star season. Again, if they do Second Chance, obviously he won't be eligible for that. But if like 50 ends up being like Legends or something to that nature, like a big All-Star season, I could see Earl being on that season. Again, like he was someone that was like supposed to be on Game Changers, but he had work obligations there. Again, was supposed to be on Winners at War, but had. Again, a pregnant wife at that point, so it's like, I mean, I think he's someone that they're apt to bring back. I think if they have a theme that fits him, then I think, and he doesn't have other things going on, then I think he's more than likely going to be back. Surprised he's still called Earl. Yeah, I mean, like again, like I think he was also called for Blood versus Water as well, right? I think everyone was called for Blood versus Water. Yeah, like I know they were not like super high on Earl for a while. Like I remember at the time of Survivor Heroes vs. Villains, Jeff Probst did a season ranking, and like he ranked Fiji, saying that essentially that everyone was boring except for Yao Man. Where like if he said like if it wasn't for Yao Man and Dreams, then this season would be like at the bottom or something like that. Earl, I don't know if he was technically an alternate for Fiji, but he was like a last second cast person. But like I don't know if it was necessarily alternate in the sense that someone dropped out and they picked him, but I think it might have been more of a situation where like they were like scrambling for another person, and they were like, "Hey, can you come on or whatever?" Okay. When Jeff stopped giving his actual opinions, I mean, I think 30 was a big point. It's kind of weird because, like, obviously, like you have like 32, where like you can very much tell that he was anti, like he was not happy that Michelle won, but he never outwardly says that though. So like realistically, it's probably before that to where like he stopped actually giving his real opinions. Where like I know 30 was a point where that's where he like accepted that like, okay, just because we like a season doesn't mean you're gonna like a season. So I think maybe that would be a point. I mean, I think the Varner situation is very different though. Where like that's like more of an out of game reason to hate Varner. More so than like him talking about like, oh, I think you're fucking boring or something like that. Like that, I think that's a very like different example.
But I am thankful to have met a Venetian woman willing to help me decipher it.
He has not said that he doesn't like Brian, but he said he felt repulsed by Brian. That was his wording at the time of Heroes vs. Villains, where he got asked about who, like at the time of Heroes vs. Villains, he did an interview where he was asked like who was in contention for the show essentially, and he said, "Oh, we thought about bringing back Brian Heidick, but we were too repulsed to actually do it." And like that's the main thing with him, where it's like that's the like main source that we have like directly from Probst of him not liking Brian. How far in the stream are we at this point anyway? In the stream cutting kind of fuck things. Or like 2.5 hours or so? Oh, we're like pretty much exactly halfway through. Okay. I mean, the crash was at the halfway point at this point. So we're like 3 hours in the stream? Holy shit. I guess I did start earlier, didn't I? Whatever.
We should trade stories if I'm not dead by this time tomorrow.
Is there a chance of that?
Does Brian Heidik want to return? Yes. Will it ever happen? No. But he's been very open about wanting to return.
If they do strike,
who's hated more by CBS, Matt Hoffman or Fairplay? I don't think either of them are that hated by CBS.
This is not your fight.
By CBS themselves. Again, production's a different question, but by like Survivor production. But like, I don't think CBS hates Fairplay. I feel like Fairplay is probably one of these people that like CBS would want them to cast, but Jeff is like, can we not?
We plan to dress as entertainers and walk right in.
I will find a disguise and meet you there.
I mean, Brian Heidik is like one of the first boots on All Stars if he's on there, for sure. Winners at War, I cannot imagine him doing particularly well in that cast either. And really, like any cast, that's the tough thing about Brian Heidik is that the sense that I get from Brian Heidik is that I don't think he does well on any cast that like has any remote game sense. The problem is that we're never ever going to actually figure that out because like we're never going to actually see him play again to actually properly get a sense of him as a player. But the sense that I get from seeing how he played on Thailand, seeing interviews of him after the fact, is that I just do not think he would do well. I mean, there's a lot of interviews with Brian Heidik out there. He's done one with RHAP, he did stuff with like Survivor Oz in the past. Like he's done a lot of interviews. And like in every single one, he pretty much talks about him wanting to have played again. Was the fake cancer thing from Matt well received? I don't think so at the time. I think people were like disgusted by it at the time. What are these NPC noises? Does production hate Matt? I don't think they hate Matt, do they? Unless I'm forgetting something.
I'm going to enjoy this.
I don't think they're like a big fan of his to the point where like I don't think they're like dying to bring him back. Which obviously we don't see him back for 22, but like I don't think he's like completely off their radar. Like I mean, from what I understand, he got an availability call, right, for 22. I think that's what he said.
Bind thy wounds, noble Signor.
Why was Hayden on the challenge? Who knows? I mean, why isn't Hayden on a lot of things? Saying you would think Hayden would be on a lot of things. It's so weird too, like how like he was the fan favorite for Blood versus Water, and was also like a former Big Brother winner and everything, and like we just like see nothing of him since then. Despite him like being in the casting pool for both 31 and 34, and then him also for BB22. It's like it's just weird that we haven't seen anything from him since. Really like Matt. I don't think what he did is any worse than they did Grandma Lie. Yeah, pretty much. I think some people would disagree with that, but like I wouldn't disagree with that necessarily. Fuck off. By the way, I do want to do that video. I talked about that last stream. That I wanted to do that video on what if Survivor 40 wasn't Winners at War, and like essentially make up a cast that I like, who I think would have been cast if it was this like more general All-Star season. And to be fair, it probably would like I'd probably actually go like old school versus new school, because I think that's what the rumors are.
I look ridiculous. I feel ridiculous.
My blade is too conspicuous in this outfit. Are you armed?
Let's see what else.
You mark the targets, and we will take them out.
The way the production very obviously made him tell all the jury members about his lie is hilarious, yeah.
You, know how to play that thing?
I learned a few chords when I was young.
I think he, like, genuinely did the first one to a degree, but then I feel like after that, like, they were like, yeah, okay, we need to see everyone's reactions to this. The Survivor production want a Legend season? I mean, we don't know. Like, we probably won't know. For sure.
Is close to the public. Turn around
I think it feels right for
Perdonate,
Survivor 50
Monsignore. We
to
are
be
this
an
evening's
all-winner, or for it to be a Legend season. Especially considering they've already done the all-winners. So like I feel like that's the next best thing, but I would not put it past production to not do it though.
What is this?
I'm dressed up like a jester.
Who's rumored for Old School Tribe? I mean, I know Lex Vandenberg was one of them. I don't remember who else was though. I know Spencer was in consideration, but obviously not for Old School. Let's see. I feel this will just take too much time to research on stream. But, yeah, oh yeah, Daniel De Lorenzo, I forgot about that. Yeah, she was there. I don't know about I don't think Fairplay was on there. I think I would not be surprised he got an availability call, but I don't think they would have bit the bullet and did it though. I mean, to be fair, like everyone, like I mean, at that point, like they never went beyond the availability calls. So it's like that's all we really know. We don't know who exactly they would have actually put on the cast.
Young Cesare, I heard him say.
What was Danielle rumored for 38? That's so random. I don't fucking. I mean, like we know she was there. Like we know she was there in the casting finals. So it's like it's not really as much of a rumor as in like she was actually there.
Come spend the night with me.
Wait, which Jenna are we talking about? Are we talking about Lewis or Marasca? Because if it's Marasca, I doubt that. Lewis, I can see her being called. Despite all the seasons I've watched, I've never realized number 8 and 18. What was this? Oh, Survivor rules you have to follow. Yeah, I did see that this got... Like, I saw that this got posted, but I haven't actually read the article. That's 25 of the wildest rules you didn't know Survivor candidates have to follow on Survivor. Number 1, submitting a video is the only way to be cast. I mean, that's simply not true, though, right? Like, you do... because, like, when people say recruits, like, those recruits still have to submit videos. But, like, also you have people like Anali Anderson, and you have people that are, like, crossovers from other shows, so, like, that's not necessarily true. Players must sign a contract once cast. No fucking shit. There's a minimum age requirement, but not a maximum age requirement, obviously. Players must be in top physical condition in order to compete. I mean, do they need to be in top? I feel like that's a stretch. Players must attend Survivor School. Yeah, in terms of talk, yeah. Players are only allowed 2 luxury items. Do they even get their luxury items at this point? Player clothing must be approved before filming, obviously. Players aren't allowed to wear the same colored shirts. In terms of what? To avoid similarities and ensure specific looks. Like, I kind of assume that, but, like, not exactly that. But, whatever. Like, I mean, obviously they want everyone to look distinct. But, I don't know if they're, like, actually, like, analyzing the colors of everything and say, hey, you can't wear that, it's too similar to... Like, if you have someone like a Missy, like, and she has, like, a similar color to an Elaine, like, I don't know if they're like, oh, you can't wear those clothes, they're too similar.
Now this is a celebration. Suleiman, the Sultan's grandson.
Personal hygiene tools are prohibited. Obviously, tribes are not allowed to visit each other. I mean,
We met on the ship.
are they though?
He told me he was a
I mean, you're not technically supposed to, but obviously it has happened.
Who's that?
Players must ask any questions before challenge begins. Well, no shit. Players have free reign of the island. You just said that they're not allowed to go the... Whatever. Stealing is prohibited, but searching is allowed. We know that. Players must abide by environmental rules. We know that. Production is not allowed to aid players with supplies. No shits. Players must use their surroundings as restrooms, obviously. Players must receive medical checkups throughout the game, obviously. Players are not allowed to bring food rewards back to camp. I mean, that's a modern thing, but yes. Where again, they did allow it in old school seasons. And to be fair, it was probably also against the rules there. It's just that, like, they didn't care. And to be fair, I don't think they actually do ever care. Because obviously we saw this in, like, SA with Chappies. And, like, they didn't actually fucking care. I think it's more so, like, a precautionary thing. Or like, not a cautionary thing. Of, like, them trying to... They don't want you to do it. So then they, like, pretend that it's an actual rule so you don't do it, but aren't actually going to enforce it. The way players aren't allowed to converse with the crew, yeah, that's obvious. Players must strategize when searching for an idol, especially with the camera crew following them. Wait, what does that mean? If a player wants to be discreet while searching for an idol, they aren't allowed to tell the cameraman not to follow. Well, I mean, obviously, yeah. Players must agree to be filmed at all times. No shit, you twice, pretty much. It's just that one specifically about idols. Players must abide by food safety guidelines. No shit. Players are advised to reach out to CBS if they need any counseling post-production. Again, players are not allowed to go home as soon as they're voted off. I mean, yeah. Like, who is this article for? Like, I feel like most of these things are, like, very obvious, right? Players are not allowed to keep unused idols. Yeah, I mean, that's, again, a more modern thing, I believe. Because they sell them and stuff. But anyway. Yeah, like, a lot of these are, like, not necessarily rules for, like, the entire show also. Yeah, it's, like, a lot of things that, like, changed over time. Wait, there we go. It took forever to load.
No one understands.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that you're not able to use your, like, if you get voted out of the idol in your pocket, you're not able to keep it anymore. But it's like, I also, like,
I hope you are enjoying yourself.
Like, I get it from a production standpoint of them, like, or, like, that they want to, like, try to sell them for charity or keep them around for, like, potential, like, Ghost Island related things. But doesn't Andrea have her old idol? I mean, that was before that. Like, this is a relatively recent thing, from what I understand. Like, I think it's, like, within the last few-ish seasons. Because, yeah, I know Andrea kept her idol and lost it. I went the wrong way here. Whatever.
She said it's strictly business. Such business was my pleasure.
Do I watch any other reality TV streamers or YouTubers? No, I not anymore. At least I watched Peridium before I started doing videos, but at this point I don't.
Give your family my
I really, just in general, I don't watch much YouTube anymore.
Whenever he would show himself, my feast.
I'm trying to actually think. Yeah, I don't think I consistently watch any YouTube channels anymore. Like, there's streamers I watch here and there, but even then, to be honest, I haven't watched that many streams recently. Outside of Will Neff. And, like, that's because, like, I have no interest in actually watching Will Neff streams outside of the Survivor stuff. But yeah, like, outside of that, like, yeah, just, like, I don't watch much YouTube anymore.
Mirabel Menestrello. Did I say that right?
Well enough.
I think I'm only, like, I think the only reality TV YouTuber that I'm even subscribed to is
I do
Peridium.
not talk to strangers.
I don't even think I'm subscribed to any of the other ones.
am Suleiman.
Ezio Auditore.
And like even Peridium, it's like
Are you injured?
Who is your captain, soldier?
I know I watched like I watched his like Final Tribal videos when I was doing my Final Tribal stuff. But like outside that, I don't think I've watched a Peridium video in a while outside of those. Well, RJP I considered like different from like YouTubers. Like that's more so like podcasters that just so happen to be like have part of their stuff on YouTube.
I will. Once I change out the.
But yeah, I mean, I listen to RJP. Even then, though, I mean, when it comes to Survivor, I did not get around to listening to most of their podcasts. I listen to Know-It-Alls, and then, like, right here, like, I even have the premiere recap up. I only got an hour into the Gabby interview, and did not get around to listening to any other Survivor stuff. I've pretty much listened to every BB Can thing, though. And I feel like with Big Brother, it's more important to listen to podcasts than with Survivor. Where, like, I feel like with Survivor, you get one podcast, like, you get Know-It-Alls, you kind of get the general sense of what's going on in terms of what the podcasters think. While with, like, Big Brother, I feel like there's just so much going on, especially with, like, the live feed element of it and everything, that with that, I feel like it's much more, like, it makes more sense to keep being caught up on things. Oh, you didn't hear about that? That Michelle Yee got attacked? Like, what was that, like 3 or 4 months ago or something like that? We talked about it on stream. I mean, like, how much is there to really talk about outside of, like, it's obviously terrible that she got attacked. But yeah, that did happen. Oh, you have a Survivor podcast? That's cool. Do I think that Cole and Michael Yeager will be on Challenge 38? Probably not, realistically. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I went this way. I'm about to be fucking detected. God damn it. I was so close. Well. You know what, fuck it. I'm gonna fight them, and if I die, I die. Okay, I'm about to die though because he's okay, fine, whatever. Let's let them kill me. Oh, it's just who you listen to. Okay. Yeah, who are they? I feel like I haven't heard of. Like I've heard of like Bitter Jurors. I know is one. I know Survivor Specialists, obviously. Oh, are they the Barstool ones? Yeah, because I feel like I've heard of them, but like I just didn't know. Like I knew that they were a thing. It's just I didn't know that that was their name. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, just in general, I barely have time for RHAP at this point. Let alone other podcasts and stuff. And also, like, when it comes to, like, watching less YouTube and stuff now, and, like, and Twitch streams and stuff, a lot of that is because, I've been doing this, like, 4-month-long challenge rewatch now. And I'm going to have to start BB3 pretty soon for that retrospective. After I have to watch Survivor Thailand, I have to watch The Glass House. I have to watch... Well, I don't have to watch Glass... I don't know if I'm going to do Glass House. Well, I'll decide when I get to it. But, yeah, I'll still have to watch Survivor Thailand. I have to watch every Merge episode for a video at the end of the year. So, still a lot. I think I'll do Glass House, but I'm not, like, 100% locked in on it.
The Janissaries are loyal to my grandfather. But they have lately become angry over his choice.
Mike Holloway and Meg are engaged. They're married, like together for like what, like ever since like immediately after
I hoped you might
one of their like whoever season was last. But like they got together like pretty quickly.
I am tracking them myself.
And then they've been together ever since.
As long as our interest.
Yeah, they got married. I think like last year.
At the top of that tower, which leads to a secret room. Go there, wait.
and watch.
So yeah, she was on Big Brother immediately after he won Survivor. Yeah, they got married in October. Or maybe earlier. Either way, it was end of last year. How they meet? I'm pretty sure it was like through charity events, right? I'm an idiot. Again, I'm just not even paying attention to the game. Oh, whatever. Do I listen to everyone's favorite challenge podcast? No, I don't. I did actually listen to the RGP challenge podcast here and there, especially during. I don't think I listened to any of it during Spies, Lies, and Allies, but I did during Double Agents, which I mean, to be fair, is like not that much of a challenge podcast. Where it's like obviously it's supposed to be, but like it's more so like about the dynamic of the podcasters than it is about the actual show. And the same thing with the A&W podcast on RGP, which I really liked as well, where it was just Taryn and Lita, and like it's like they're barely talking about the fucking show. It's mostly them going on like side tangents.
For reasons that should be obvious.
Evet, Shehzadem. You have your father's wisdom.
And his impatience.
Yeah, you didn't know about Jack and Elizabeth either? Yeah, you're really behind on your Survivor gossip. Yeah, they've been... are they still together?
A word.
I know they got together during the season, and like Jack had a girlfriend at the time or something, right?
An ineffective steward of the city?
And then I think like... Didn't like Jack and Jamal lived together immediately after the season filmed? Like they moved in together, but then like he moved out to move in with Elizabeth, I think is how it worked out. Something like that.
What have I done to earn such contempt from the Janissaries? What has my brother done for you that I have not?
Who in RGP talks about challenge? It's Ali Lasher and Brian Cohen. Which Ali Lasher's a great podcaster. Brian Cohen's like fine, but yeah, like their dynamic on the challenge podcast is pretty fun.
Fraternity in the company of infidels. You make a decent philosopher, Ahmed, but you will be a poor sultan.
You may show yourself out.
Yeah, when was the last time Sia went to a Survivor finale? It's been a while, right? Was she at IOI? Like, I know she gave away money at IOI, but I don't remember if she's actually been, like, if she was actually there.
Quite a family.
Your uncle lacks sway over.
Yeah, who's gotten money from Sia? It's been what, like Elaine and Janet, right?
And he admires my father.
You had Rick Devens. You had Donathan. You had Davey, right? Davey got it, I think, in Dave vs. Goliath.
Where should we begin?
For now, keep an eye on
and you had Ty, obviously. Was the first one.
Free time in and around the bazaar.
I think like a lot of other people got like minor prizes, right? I believe she like gave Elaine and Janet the same amount of money. Like, didn't she give both of them like $100,000 or something dumb like that? Let's look this up. Yeah, let's look at the Sia Award. Yeah, I do find it funny that she didn't give it to Big Wendy. Is there not like a list out there of like all the people that got the Sia Award? No one talks about the Sia Award anymore, do they? I think that was like such a big thing at the time of like pre-COVID Survivor, but I feel like it's something that's like kind of lost post-COVID. She gave Jamal $15,000. That's something. So yeah, she gave Jamal $15,000, but then gave Janet and Elizabeth $100,000. So that's funny. Anyway, again, what a weird thing in Survivor history, though. Like Sia just randomly gives away money to people, to her favorites or whatever. I don't think she gave money to Kelly. I don't think. She could have, for all I know. Though. yeah, Parvati and Fincher got divorced in what is really depressing, in the sense that Fincher was supposedly abusive and everything, so that's obviously terrible. Oh, fuck off. I thought I could make that.
He must be completely insane.
Did you give money to Aurora? That's really fucking random. Why can't I climb this? Whatever. I never understood why they didn't have her fund the fan favorite award. I mean, because I think she wants to give it to the people that she wants to give it to, not to who the fans vote to give it to. Will I do a reunion ranking? Yes. The question is when. That I don't know, but I will for sure do one at some point. I wonder if we're ever going to get, like, are we going to get back to Survivor reunions at some point? Like, for 43 and 44, are we going to get back to reunion shows? Or are they going to stick with the stupid after show thing? Which I really hope they don't, but I could see Survivor Production doing that. That seems like a very Jeff Probst thing to do. I do, that's just in general, like, a Survivor thing to do, is like whenever they have an opportunity to cut back on something and then like are forced to do it at one point, they say, fuck it, let's keep it like this. Will I ever go through the best move every season? Yes. That's on my list of video ideas. Yeah, like a similar-ish, not really similar video, but like a video in that nature that I do plan on doing relatively soon. In terms of making, I don't know when I'll have to wait until 42 is finished, but around that time I do want to do a video where I talk about the luckiest moment for every winner. Where I talk about, like, obviously, like, the biggest, like, thing of luck that each winner had that led to their winning game. Which actually, too, like, I've been debating on, like, which one, like, I've had two ideas for that video. It's like either do the luckiest moment for every winner, or do the worst, like, or like the, I don't know what the actual name, like maybe it's like the worst move for every winner, maybe? I don't know. I feel like people have done that, though. I feel like people haven't, like, done a, like, luckiest thing, though. So I'm thinking, like, right now I'll probably do a luckiest thing for every winner, but, like, I might switch it up by the time I actually make the video. Yeah, Ozzy cheated on Amanda the day before the reunion, right? And, like, that's why, like, the reunion's, like, so awkward, is because, like, she just found out. And that's why, like, when Jeff asks her, like, are you and Ozzy still together, she's, like, initially, like, really hesitant to answer the question.
I feel many things, Messere. Nausea above all.
Is this man bothering you, Sophia?
Excuse me, Messere, but the lady and I are... Oh, il diavolo in persona! Stay back!
Duccio, a pleasure.
Run, buona donna!
Make a video about the most realistic ending to every season. I want to do a video on essentially who's the best position player every season, or something to. I forgot why I named the video, but like I want to do, yeah, like who, like not necessarily who I think played the best, because I think that's like a slightly different topic, but like the person that I think wins in most scenarios coming into the season.
So I wait. I could be here all day.
Yeah, I think Tommy would probably be that person for BB21.
I know a few ways to bend the rules.
Do you now?
See, I will meet you back at your
I mean, like, certain seasons have, like, very obvious answers. And to be fair, like, I feel like most of the time it does end up being the winner, but I haven't actually, like, thought through it to see if that actually is the case. Like, if it's either, like, the winner or, like, someone that came in, like, 3rd or 4th place or something to that nature. Actually, who's the? Like, I wonder who's the answer for 41. Like, is it Deshaun? I actually don't know who the answer is for 41. Like, who is the best position person coming in? Like, in terms of who's the most likely to win in every scenario? I was not even paying attention to the game. Yeah, I think it might be Deshaun, but I don't know. 40 is like... Actually, 40 is like... Who's sitting 40, actually? I was going to say it's Tony, but it's actually not Tony, is it? Because like Tony had to play that like one specific way in order for him to win. Oh, is it Michelle? I think the problem is like, does Michelle win? Like, I think she's probably one of the most likely people to get to the end, but like she's not necessarily the winner. Most of the time, I don't feel like. Like Sarah came in with this like massive target on her back, so it's probably not her.
Sofia Sartor. Perfetto.
Who is it? Like, I don't know, Denise maybe? But then like, I'm like running, like Jeremy had a big target on his back, Kim had a big target on her back. Maybe Sophie is the answer then? I don't know. I think that's also actually kind of a weird one. I do think 39 is Tommy. I mean, I think people would probably disagree with that, but I think it's Tommy. Like, while like Tommy would lose certain jury scenarios, I don't feel like anyone else on the cast was cutthroat enough to, like, I think Tommy was the most cutthroat out of the players in that cast to get himself in that position to where he would not be against the people that he would lose to in those scenarios. 38's a weird one too. And 38 just as a whole is a weird cast. It would probably... Actually, it would be Gavin. I feel like it would be Gavin, 38. Then like 37's weird because like I think the answer is Nick, but it is also like a situation where like in this actual real life scenario, Nick almost goes home the first rounds. Like that's just a weird thing to rationalize there. I think Wendell's probably the answer for 36. 35 is probably what, Devin? Okay, that was something. I'm marking Sam top 10 AU players. Yes. I mean, like, I think as of right now, in terms of the positions they are in the game right now, borderline. I think with how I anticipate them finishing out the season, where I do expect Mark to win, and Sam is probably going to crack top 10 anyway, then yeah, I think they probably are. They probably both are. Did Lauren have a higher chance of winning at the Merge than Tommy? Yes, but like Tommy actively maneuvered through the game in a way that undercut Lauren throughout pretty much the entire game. I mean, like pretty much throughout the entire Merge, where like cutting Kelly is someone that was much closer to Lauren than they were to Tommy. You didn't get rid of Jamal, same thing. You then, who's next after that? Getting rid of Aaron. Again, like really all of Lauren's people go out back to back to back to back at the Merge because Lauren is so loyal to Tommy that she's willing to let these people go when Tommy is just allowing his people to get to the end. Like literally Kelly, Jamal, Aaron, Missy, Elizabeth, and I think Krishna's not it, but like those first five people there are all people that are closer to Lauren than they are to Tommy. While Tommy gets Janet, Dean, and Dan to the end game, while also having Nora, who is someone that he's easily able to manipulate. So like he technically comes into the Merge not in best position, but like he actively maneuvers through the game in a way that allows him to be the best position by the end. Oh, and Elaine also is closer to Tommy.
Salute, Ezio. Any luck?
Actually, is she though? I actually was actually close to both of them.
Oh no.
But she did go out of her way to save Tommy.
Did they use this to fight off pirates? Well, so far so good.
Assuming Mark does win, are Mark and Sam one of the strongest duos in Survivor overall? Probably. Again, especially if they're the final two, or if they're like two of the final three. I think at that point, like for sure. Like because I think when we look at other, well, actually, no, I was thinking of like Boston Rob and Amber, where like at that point, like obviously, like I think Boston Rob's better than either Mark or Sam, but I think Amber's not as good as either Mark or Sam. And then you have, but like if we're talking about duos as a whole, like I think if we're like comparing them like JT and Steven and like Dom and Wendell, I think at that point like they're probably better than Mark and Sam.
Here's mine fulfilled.
Tony and Sarah, I think is probably better. Yeah, like I mean, I think Mark and Sam are actually not. Like I was thinking more so in terms of like loved one duos, but to be fair, it's not many like, of those that make it to the end anyway. But yeah, in terms of like overall dynamic duos, they're probably not like the top of the top, but they're still relatively high. I think they're definitely top 10 power duos. I think.
Forgive me. It is a joy to see someone with a passion so personal and noble. It is inspiring.
Are you either equal to Dom and Wendell?
Where's this coming from?
I think Dom and Wendell's like power structure is a lot safer than Mark and Sam. Where I think Mark and Sam's here relies so much on. I mean, I guess you could say something about Dom and Wendell, but I was gonna say Mark and Sam's like relies so much on keeping Josh and Jordan in line. Where I mean, I guess it's not actually the case. It is. There's a difference because, like again, like here, it's like Mark and Sam are very much relying on Josh and Jordan. Where if Josh and Jordan flip, along with that comes David and Chrissy. So really, it's all about like that one specific relationship that they need to keep on their side. While it's like they don't actually hold the power directly, they hold the power through controlling Josh and Jordan. Well, like Dom and Wendell actually like directly controlled the power, and while like you can say that like Laurel and Donathan are like the people that they needed to keep on their side, it's like Laurel and Donathan were not like actually controlling any people. They were more so like swing votes in the middle, while like Josh and Jordan are more so like actually controlling Chrissy and Don and David. So I think that's like probably the difference there. Mark and Sam will probably never play again, considering the hate they're getting. I think it definitely decreases the chances of them playing again. I think, again, if Mark wins the season, I don't know if Mark's playing again. I don't think there's much to prove on a return for Mark. Or same thing as Sam. If Sam wins the season, like whoever wins the season, I don't think they're that apt to return. I could see the person that doesn't win, though, coming back, and I expect that to be Sam. Where, like, I could see Sam coming back again, even though she had a bad experience this time. I don't know how well it would go for her, realistically, though. Do I think it's done with Josh and Jordan not to flip on Mark and Sam? No, because they can't. I don't know what this is in the review, but it's like they literally can't because of Purgatory. They can't flip on Mark and Sam. I'm Purgatory and then also the Idols. But like this last round in particular, like they literally can't do anything. Because like this entire talk about, oh, we gotta flush Mark's idol as vote is fucking dumb. Like it's never happening. Like why is Mark gonna waste his, like if you're assuming that Mark has not, because like one, Mark and Ray has immunity in this situation. So they're thinking of like, oh, we're gonna put the votes on Sam to make Mark use his idol on Sam. But it's like, why would he do that in a situation where they know Purgatory exists? They know multiple people are coming back into the game. Like JLP explicitly says that. Like, why would he waste an idol? to save Sam from having to go into a competition that she's more than likely going to win, come back into the game. When, like, again, worst case scenario here, Mark is at the final, 9 or whatever, with 2 idols in his pocket. Like, that's his worst case scenario, which is not a bad scenario to be in. So it's like, why is Mark actually going to waste any of his idols here? But also, it's like, you can't make a move here with Purgatory involved. It's like like with Purgatory involved, like, why are you going to blindside Sam here? Which, in turn, would piss off both Mark and Sam, when Sam would also have a chance to return to the game. Like, it just doesn't make sense to make the move. Next episode, I don't know. I think you've got to get rid of Geordi first. Like, I just feel like Geordi is such a dangerous player, especially at this point. Again, we're at the final 9, right? And we're at the final 9, where Geordi has 3 locked-in numbers. So if you get rid of Mark or Sam here, so essentially it's a 6v3. You get rid of Mark and Sam, that knocks it down to 5v3. Mark can flip, or Sam can flip, whichever one survives. That's a 4v4 at that point. That you can't make the move here at 9. You need to get rid of one of their numbers, ideally Geordi, first, and then you can make the move. And even then, I think you might even have to wait. But then they have 2 idols. But then they don't know. I mean, they should know, but they don't know. They have 2 idols. Again, like, I think the game's locked in for Mark or Sam at this point. But I do think, again, it's just an overall pretty tough position to be in here. Where, again, they need to at least get rid of one of the Purgatory people first. They can't risk pissing off Mark and Sam and also keeping in all 3 of the Purgatory people. I also don't think, like, for Josh and Jordan, I don't know when they should have gotten rid of Mark and Sam. Like, there wasn't really an opportunity to do so. Like, they had to go with Geordi, and they had to vote out Geordi and Jesse over Mark and Sam, because Geordi and Jesse were directly targeting them. And while you can attribute that to, okay, they should have had a better relationship with Geordi and Jesse, but, like, based on the positions they were at the time of the vote, like, they had to side with Mark and Sam at that point. And after that, we get Purgatory. So, like, there wasn't much room to maneuver there. Like, I don't know when the move should have been made there. There's not really a point to do so for Josh and Jordan. I mean, the ideal time to make the move, if no idols were involved, would be at 7. The problem is that idols are involved, and they have 2 of them, which is very, very dangerous. Because, like, the thing is, like, again, like, Josh and Jordan obviously have each other. They have Chrissy supposedly locked in. Supposedly they have David as well, and that's 4. So, again, like, no matter what, they'll have numbers by the time of the final 7. And they can do it at 8. The problem with doing it at 8, though, is that they can't really split the vote. I mean, I guess they can if they get the 3, or if they get the Purgatory people involved, right? Because that would be 5v. Oh no, that would be 6v2, right? So they'd be able to split there. So I mean, I guess they could do it at 8. Would I have Jordan Josh and Jordan high on player ranking at this time? Yes. I would have Josh. I don't know how much Jordan is doing. Well, the thing is that, like, we see, or at least we hear, I should say, about Josh's relationships with people. And we do see it at points too, like, specifically with his, like, relationship with, like, Shay, which is never really brought up on the show, but you can tell that he has a pretty close relationship with Shay. but then like we hear about his relationship with like Chrissy and David and Nina earlier on, with Mark and Sam. To be fair, with Mark, not really with Sam. Sam wants him out, but it's like Josh has good relationships with most of the people there. Jordan, we don't see the same thing. Like we don't really see much of Jordan. Do I like Jemmy? I think she's good TV. I think she's a good confessionalist. In terms of like her as like a person, like, But I wouldn't be opposed to like her coming, like to her being on most challenge seasons. You know, I don't know how likely. I don't think she's ever going to win a challenge. I feel like that's pretty unlikely. But she's still someone that's like at least willing to cause some drama. I think Prime Jemmy was like in the earlier seasons. I think like recently she wasn't like as strong. Like All Stars, she wasn't like that interesting. And then her being what on 30 through 32. On 32 she was like booted right away, but then like 31 she was like not that interesting. 30 she at least had the backstabbing Jenna thing. And then, again, she has, like, good confessionals here and there, but I definitely feel like, she was definitely better TV back in, like, the, 23 through 26 period of time. Cool, that was ideal. Yeah, her, Final Reckoning partner was Jenna, because of her backstabbing her. I guess how much of a backstab is it really when like they didn't technically have a deal? It's more so that Jenna saved Jemmy. More so because like the other people that she had the option between were like her enemies in like LaToya and Amanda, right? Those were the other two. I forgot if there was and Simone, right? Which I believe are all people that she had got into fights with in previous seasons. So it's not like she, like, saved Jemmy out of the graciousness of her heart or anything. And, like, they never had, like, any sort of deal or anything. Jemmy did say, like, oh, I owe her one or whatever. But, like, outside that, like, didn't really have that much of an actual agreement. So it's like, I don't know how much of a actual backstab it is. More so than them obviously, like, playing it up for the show. But still, it is still a good moment, though. Where to rank Kyle? Kyle in what? In which Kyle? Are we talking about Challenge Kyle? I still rank him in what? I noticed on 30-30 when Nelson got kicked out, it was actually Jemmy who hit. Was it Jemmy who hit? I think it was like Nelson like tried to hit Derek, right? And then like I think he missed, but it was like he pushed Jemmy into hitting Derek or something like that. Like I know like he never actually directly hits Derek. I knew that, but yeah, it was like it was like a weird thing where it's like he like accidentally pushed Jemmy into hitting Derek or something like that. Yeah, like rank Kyle where? Like in terms of like best competitors? If that's the case, then like it's not that high. He's not like he's not low, but he's not necessarily like top like 25 or anything like that. Am I doing first boot ranking? Yes. Next year is the plan for those. Like one of the first videos of next year will probably be the first boot ranking for Survivor, and I'll probably do BB Can. I'll probably do BB Can early, like earlier than I normally would, because I still, as of right now, I'm still planning on doing the ranking of every BB Can player. And that first boot ranking would be kind of pointless if it comes out after that. What's the best strategic move ever done in the challenge? I don't know, like, what's the best, like, singular move? To be honest, I'm not really sure of what the best, like, singular move is. Like, I think there's a lot of, like, of, like, Wes, like, flipping over Leroy and Zack, and, like, Battle of the X's, too, and, like, that sort of thing. And, like, that's good, but, like, I don't know if that's, like, actually, like, an individual move, necessarily. I don't know if that's the best ever, either, because it didn't lead to him winning. And maybe, like, the Sarah taking out Bananas, or voting in Bananas in Battle of the X's, too. I mean, there's probably better answers, realistically. I mean, that's a good move, too. Leroy cutting the deal with Kyle. Fuck off. Yeah, I will be including BB Can 8 players. Though, obviously, don't expect any of them to be particularly high, in comparison to players that we've seen, like, more of. Obviously, Sheldon is gonna be relatively high. Brooke is probably gonna be kind of up there. I think is that it? Who else is on that cast that would even, like, be considered to be somewhat high? But even then, like, again, like, there's no way I could put Sheldon, like, anywhere close to the top, despite him playing a near perfect game up until that point. Oh yeah, I mean, Cam's move in Final Reckoning is, like, it's a good move, but, like, it's also, like, kind of inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. Where it's like, it was all to, what, like, get Dave Vaughn and Jose in elimination against Faith and Angela. It's like, who really cares? It's like, because, like, at the end of the day, it's like, Cam and Kaylee were already safe. But, like, I mean, it's not, like, doing much for them as individuals. It's like, I don't know how great of a move it really is. Like, it's a flashy move, and it's one that's, like, impressive to be pulled off because there's so many, like, little things that have to go right there. But it's also, like, I don't know how beneficial it was to them. Did I enjoy CT and Veronica getting purged? Not really. Oh, it's the middle one, right? If I was Mike Turner, would you hide the Beware Vanish somewhere memorable? Yeah, I mean, that was hilarious. I did forget about that actually until now. But yeah, Mike lost the idol. And, like, supposedly looks like he's gonna lose it again next episode. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Do I like Veronica? I think she's good TV. I mean, like, in recent seasons, not as much. Like, she didn't really do much in Vendettas. I mean, she was fine in, like, Dirty 30. Then, obviously, like, back in the day, she's great TV. Again, as a person, she's, like, your typical, like, mean girl sort of figure. I do think it'll be interesting to see how she goes on Ulcers 3, though.
Fazla çalışıyorum. Bütün gün kutu taşıyorum ve akşamları babama fırında yardım ediyorum. Hiç boş vaktim yok.
What I do as far as AU, Heroes vs. Villains, Dreamcast, I don't know. Again, that's, like, such a niche video that, like, I'm not, like, looking at it, like, I have to do it right away. I'll probably do a more general Heroes vs. Villains one first before doing, like, a Dreamcast one. But even then, like, I don't see myself doing it, like, right away or anytime soon. Yeah, Veronica's in All-Stars 3. Do I think Veronica would do the main show again? No. Nor do I think they want her on the main show again. Unless it's, again, old school versus new school or something, which who knows if they'll ever do.
host set off some weeks ago. With no doubt one.
What time is it? It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. How long have we been going for? It's what, 4 hours now? Where are we at? I don't even fucking remember where we're at in the game. Are we at the halfway point yet? I think we are, right? This is sequence 4. Oh, am I at the end of sequence 4? Oh. Oh, I'm doing the Ezio thing. Or the Altair thing. Interesting, okay. I'm further in this than I thought. Only people in the current All-Stars casting pool who I really want back is Jeanne and Nehemiah. I mean, they are both back, right? For All-Stars 3? Jordan West and Kayla also, but they're on the main show. Yeah. I mean, too fair, like, Jordan, I keep on forgetting Jordan was on Total Madness. Like, it's funny, like, I barely remember, like, before the rewatch, like, I barely remembered he was even on this season. Oh, you're talking about on the main show? Yeah, Jeanne and Nehemiah, I would be fine with that. I mean, like, even Jeanne, like, I don't know if Jeanne, I guess, like, who knows how it would go, but I don't suspect it going that well for Jeanne on the main show. But I think Nehemiah still feels like someone that could be on the main show. Like, even Darrell, I feel like Darrell is, like, the perfect person to be on All Stars. Like, well, he still technically could do the main show, and I think he's someone that's still definitely in the running to be on the main show. Like, I don't, like, I feel like he's better off being on All Stars.
You held fire in your hand, old man. It should have been destroyed.
Destroy the only thing capable of ending.
I'm good with Anis.
And creating true peace. Never.
I do find it funny that, like, they continuously, like, because, like, I actually didn't even realize this, that I forgot that Anissa, like, hadn't been on between, like, so she did 30-30, and then, like, wasn't on again until Total Madness. That's something I kind of forgot about. I forgot that she, like, had that much of a break in between those 2 seasons.
He was no sorcerer.
But then she's done, like, what, 4 seasons? 4 of the last 5 aired seasons, right?
I have. But
like, all but All Stars 2, so it's like...
some of the men will
Yeah,
not
I think we're good.
Let me handle it.
Laterrian retired from the challenge. I did hear that. Which I think is kind of disappointing. I mean, like, I would like to see Laterrian, like, have a really great run.
Are you fit to
he's
travel?
kind of not had that.
I asked Malik to ride to Jerusalem with news of Al-Mulim's death. Would you ride to Acre and do
It's kind of funny, like, I was, like, looking at my notes. So, again, like, when fully, like, putting together the season ranking list and, like, solidifying it, I read over all my notes again. And, like, literally one of my notes from, was it the Gauntlet? What season was he on with Alton? But either way, like literally one of his, like, his major storyline across the season is how much he sucks at dailies and everything, and I found that funny.
What has happened here?
It's like, even back then, I mean, he's probably better off now than he was back then, in terms of, like, being decent at the challenge.
And if I find your answers wanting,
I will talk until you are satisfied. Do you remember the artifact we recovered from Robert de Sab in Solomon's temple?
The artifact you were sent to retrieve?
I don't know, I feel he's set up to do good on any All-Star season. I mean, like, I think Laterrian could do well. It's just that he hasn't. And I think that's, like, the disappointment.
And you believe Al-Mualim fell under its spell?
I do. Today he used the apple to enslave Masyaf. You saw that for yourself.
I do not know what I saw.
Listen, Abbas. The apple is safe in Al-Mulim's study. When I'm
I
finished,
just want to see what other people have on the...
all I know.
I'm checking the Edgic Reddit right now to see if there's anything new there. I just want to see who other people have as their top contenders. Because, again, I really don't know where to go. Let's see. Yeah, another person with Omar and Jenny as the top 2. Another one, Omar, Daniel, Chanel 3. Again, that feels high.
No!
Jenny 4, Jonathan 5.
But this is not our way. To burn a man's body is forbidden.
Roxroy last. I feel like that's not fully accurate.
Hear me out. This body could be another one of Al-Mulim's phantoms.
I want Omar and Jonathan. Again, I don't think Jonathan is winning.
All your life, you have made a mockery of our creed.
Daniel,
You bend the
high.
rules to suit your whims, while belittling and humiliating those around you.
Okay, I completely disagree with this list.
Al-Mualim is bewitched.
Whatever. Will Darrell win again? I think he can win All-Stars. I don't think he's winning the main show at this point. What Inside Survivor Story are you talking about? Are you talking about the fact that he wasn't like, that they didn't know who he was? Because if that's the case, then I wouldn't put any credence into that.
I can take care of you. I will do anything. Let me go. No need to kill me.
Yeah, I think that's just, like, he has no social media. It's like, how are you supposed to find him? Like, why would the winner have no photo? Because he has no social media. Like, that's why. Like, it doesn't, like, it's not that, yeah, I don't think that has, like, any connection at all to, whether or not he can win or not. Does Nehemiah want to do the flagship? Yes. I'm pretty sure yes. Who gets voted out first, Jonathan or Marianne? Probably Marianne. I like Marianne, like, I don't know. I think Marianne has longevity, but I think it's in the way that, like, Elaine has longevity, to where, like, probably going to be, like, a mid-merge boot as someone that's, like, so social that they're going to have to take her out as a threat. Or maybe someone like an Evie, that was, like, a similar thing last season, where they looked theirs, or them as such a big threat because of how good they were socially. I can see Marianne being in that position here. Jonathan, I don't know. Again, it's either like he's for sure making the merge. I don't think there's any way Jonathan doesn't make the merge, especially considering the dynamics of that tribe that we know at this point. The question is, like, how's he do at the merge? Which, like, he does seem to be doing better, not position-wise, but, like, better relationship-wise than I was expecting. I do think it is interesting that, like, again, we hear that, oh, Omar is his brain shield and he's Omar's meat shield. I think that's probably a good sign for them in terms of, like, the initial merge. Where, like at the beginning of the merge I'm talking about. Where, like, that's probably a good sign that they're not going to be targeted right away, considering they are each other's shields. Which, if that's the case, then Jonathan probably has, like, a decent amount of potential moving forward. It's just, I feel like, ethically, I don't think he screams out to me as a winner. But, from, like, an in-game position standpoint, he's probably not in a terrible position. Is Ika going to be like Uwa? I thought so, but it doesn't, like, it seems like they're competent enough. They seem like a really weak tribe coming into. I'm about to fucking die. Please don't. Okay, we're good. We're good. Marianne's is more consistent than Elaine's. I don't agree with that. I actually think it's, like, it's consistent in the sense that Elaine got, like, a very quiet episode too, right? But that was actually good. Because it's like, that was, like, making it so Elaine wasn't overexposed. Which is something that typically doesn't happen for winners, is that they get so much content all in a row early on. So it's like Marianne getting so much content now 2 episodes in a row is actually probably a worse thing. I mean, again, like, with the Roxroy thing and no photo, like, you're more than likely going to be right that he doesn't win. I'm just saying that I don't think that means he has 0% chance of winning because he has no photo. Like, I just think the photo thing is just completely unrelated to anything. And realistically, I don't think Roxroy wins, but I think from an Edgic perspective, I don't think he's all the way at the bottom, considering he at least has a storyline set up where he does talk about him recognizing that he's being too domineering and he needs to change that. And, like, again, who knows if that actually leads to anything, but that's at least a storyline that some other people in the season, like Lydia or like a Lindsay don't have a storyline. So like at least that's something. I think now, like, how far should I get here? Because this might actually be a decent spot to end, gameplay-wise at least. But to be honest, I'm not really like. I feel like I can go for more.
On his suggestion,
I will play a little bit more, I
will be
guess.
investigating some wayward Janissaries who may be in league with the Templars. With luck, they will lead me straight to the core of the Templars' leadership. Meanwhile, the Venetian Sophia Sartor continues to help me find the hidden
Okay, we got to try with Dan, Rodney, and Mike 6 years ago. It's 7 years ago, right? It was 2015.
And vigor, and I enjoy her company immensely.
Yeah, I mean that.
But I dare not tell her the purpose of my
the diversity mandate, obviously, yeah, that's not happening anymore.
Vocation.
And also, even beyond that, I mean, I don't think they would cast.
Should not be forced to fight it.
I don't think they would cast Dan Foley, for sure. I don't know about Rodney. I guess that's probably more of a question mark, but. If Mike loses his Beware advantage, do I think production or the cameraman would know where it is? I think they know where they for sure know where it is, because again they have to follow him when he's hiding it and everything. It's like they know where it is for sure. The question is, like, do they tell him where it is or not? Was Rodney controversial at the time? Yes, he's very controversial. Controversial is not even the right term. He was hated. I don't even think it was like some people liked Rodney, some people didn't. It was more so like almost everyone hated Rodney at the time.
I'm not mad.
And I think like as time went on, more people started to like him as a character. But like now it's gotten to the point where like he's also problematic. So it's like there's also now more hatred to him in other aspects. So.
Do you know Tariq Barletti, their captain?
He's around here somewhere.
When will I watch Temptation Island? Probably never. I'm probably not going to bother.
Take less than 200 action for this. My final offer.
Rodney's fantastic TV. Too bad he's problematic. Yeah.
Ask about the rugs.
I mean, even if he wasn't, to be honest, like I don't think he would have been like someone that was going to be likely to come back anyway at this point. But yeah, I mean, again, it would have been cool to see him get another shot from like a pure TV standpoint and everything. Is Rodney's pre-merge what you had the most pessimistic in terms of what? In terms of like, yeah, I mean, like he does get a lot of negative content around the like Lindsay thing, right? But actually, if I remember right, wasn't like Rodney like a front runner, or not number one or anything, but like I'm pretty sure like he was like a contender Edgic-wise for the first few episodes. Maybe he gets that like content about talking about his sister, right? His sister's death and everything.
There he is.
Don't Rodney go in the challenge? No, not particularly at this point. I feel like there's probably other people that I would like to see more. I mean, Dan didn't get. I mean, not Dan. Mike didn't get that much negativity early on. Actually, who was the top? I know Jen was the top contender Edgic-wise. Like, I know she was, like, number one. I'm pretty sure she was, like, one of these people that, like, people were talking about how, like, she was, like, an obvious winner early on. Let's see. I'm trying to look up the Edgic charts. For some reason, my internet's crapping out on me, so that's lovely. There we go. It's back. What's it, Jen? Yeah, Jen was number one after episode 1. Rodney was number 1 after episode 2. So yeah, Rodney was like an early top contender. Yeah, according to this, he doesn't get negativity until episode 3, actually. Mike has a negative episode 2, a mixed episode 3, but every other episode is positive. Oh, except for mixed merge episode? Oh yeah, because they were like talking. Okay, yeah, because of the Will situation and everything. It's funny that, yeah, there are 3 people that had OTTN edits on Worlds Apart. That would definitely not happen nowadays. Yeah. Like, did anyone get an OTT edit? I guess Nasir probably did, right? For 41. But, like, just in general, people don't get OTT edits anymore, I don't feel like. But again, the fact that, like, 3 people on Worlds Apart got OTTN is kind of insane. I wonder if that's the most. Like, what season has the most OTT edits? Either way. But yeah, like, Mike and Jen were, like, kind of going back and forth, I guess, for, like, episode 4 on. Tyler was the top cadet. I forgot about that, actually. That there was, like, a contingent I thought Tyler was going to win. Yeah. Do I want Nicole Capper to be on the challenge? Yes, I think that would be a good pick. Especially if you're going to get someone from SA. Was about had 4 OTTNs in episode 3. Again, that tracks. OTTN is over the top negative, which means that you're portrayed in a way that isn't complex and in a, like, you're portrayed as like a big character without any complexity to it, and also in a negative way.
I pray Selim can soon return to a city in good spirits and stronger hands.
Yeah, like, actually, I'm gonna look up a 41 chart. How many people got OTT edits in 41? I'm sure Sydney got some too, right? Like, I'm sure Sydney and Nasir probably got some OTTs, but yeah, Nasir had an OTTP. Actually, I should probably look up the like the Reddit one. Crap, I can't find the official. Whatever. Again, it doesn't really matter.
True peace has never been the problem.
Shireen got 3 OTTNs in a row. When was that? Like, I mean, I'm sure, was it, like, late? I'm assuming it's late on the original White Collar, right? He's like, both her and Max were being shown as these, like, really wacky figures. Yeah, the nudity stuff, yeah. But that reminds me that I forgot Joaquin was a person until now. Which, I mean, like, it's funny, he's like, Joaquin's, like, not a bad Survivor player. Yeah, I feel like he's definitely someone that, like, no one talks about at this point. Do I know who has the record for OTTN in a season? No.
This bazaar was the finest.
Did Shan ever get OTT? I doubt Shan ever got OTTs. I feel like she always got complexity throughout a lot of her edit. I think So is a lot of lost potential. Yeah, that too. But at least So is at least someone that I could, like, is still potentially coming back. Potentially. Like, she's still getting calls. Well, like, no one's talking about a Joaquin return. Dan and Rodney got 5 OTTNs each. That's funny. Who's someone that was a lock at one point but got lost in time? I think Hayden. We talked about that. I think... I think if you look at, like, these seasons that are, like right after All-Star seasons, you probably have, like, a lot of contenders there. Like, I think, like, a Twyla I think like a Rory.
This is an important meeting. Make sure I am not being followed.
I'm trying to think. Who from Nicaragua? Marty. Again, the fact that we haven't seen Marty back is such a travesty. Trying to think who else is there. Debatably John Cody. Like, I know they wanted John Cody for a while. Oh yeah, that was another one. Candace was called for 40. That was the thing. Because like for a while it had been like John Cody getting the call and not Candace, but then for 40 John Cody didn't get the call, but Candace did. I'd rather see So over Teresa. Yeah, me too. Obviously, like different shows. It's not like So was ever into casting for Return of the Outcast, but yeah. I don't know, I was talking about Candace Cody. I mean, who the fuck remembers Candace from fucking Tokenshiens? I feel like Candace from Tokenshiens is one of the most forgettable people in Survivor history. Did Michelle have a super obvious winner edit? Yes. I mean, Michelle was one of these people that, like, literally follows, like, all the rules of Survivor Edgic. To where, like, I was talking about earlier, that, like, I don't think they, like, all these, like, preconceived rules about Edgic in Survivor, I don't think you can really follow those anymore. Because I think it's become more story based in terms of, like, following the themes of the season. Where, like, I feel like Michelle is one of these people that, like, literally follows the typical winner edit, like, one for one. And the fact that she's, like, someone that, like, should not be getting the content, the amount of content that she gets. Yeah, is, like, for some reason someone that we check up on almost every episode. Despite the fact she's, like, really unimportant to the overall season for, like, the first half of it. Really weird that Twyla hasn't been back? I mean, like, it's not that weird when you look at, like, when would you have her back? Because, like, they don't have a returnee season, a true returnee season until Micronesia. And at that point, they had, like, Amy was a bigger lock. And then, I guess, like, maybe swap her out for, like, Eliza, but I do feel like they wanted Eliza. And really, it's like, I don't think they wanted, like, 3 Vanuatu people at that point. Actually, I'm surprised that they got 2 Vanuatu people for Micronesia. That's actually a surprise in itself. That, like, the season was, what, 7 seasons ago? And they actually got 2 people from that season on a group of 10? Like, that's kind of surprising. I'm trying to think. So, yeah, no Guatemala people, right? And no Palau people. That's the other season they're missing, right? Because, yeah, they had, what, 1 Pearl Islands, 2 Vanuatu, 3 Cook Islands, 2 from China, 1 from Panama, 1 from Fiji, right? Should have been back for Game Changers. I get. I think at that point her time had passed. I think Heroes vs. Villains was the last time I could reasonably see them bring back Twyla. Maybe Blood vs. Water. Like, maybe. But I think really Heroes vs. Villains was her last shot, which she was what, was she an alternate? I don't remember if she was an alternate, but she was definitely, like, she was in consideration. How good would Judd be on return? I think again, Judd's a fantastic character. I would love to see him play again, just for that, but I don't think it would go well. I don't think Judd is someone that it would pick up on the game, the modern game, that well. But again, it would be fun to see. Marty to me is like a big one. Like, how have we not had Marty back? And it's like a shame that, like, at this point it's probably done. Like, I don't think it's super likely. Where, like, he was in the running for Karamoan, didn't make the cut there. got the call for Blood versus Water. From what I understand, like it was like his kids were too young, right? And he didn't really have anyone else to go on with. I'm about to fill this. And then he was in the running for second chance, didn't make the final ballot. And to be fair, even if he did, I don't know if he would have been voted on anyway. And then, was he in consideration for Game Changers? I don't remember, but even then, it's like, at that point, it's pretty late. I mean, to be fair, they did have, like, Troy Zan, who was only, like, 3 seasons different from him. But, yeah, it's like, I think his time's passed at this point. But, again, I would love to see it still. How old is Marty? Marty is, like, what?
What news?
Like, Marty's, like, mid-50s by this point, right?
An eager old weasel, isn't he? Come.
He's like, he was on the old tribe 10 years ago. He's 60. He's 60. God damn. Yeah, it's like, I don't know how much, like, I think it's pretty much done. Like, I don't think they're gonna bring back Marty. Yeah, like, Dom, I think Dom and Marty are, like, similar archetypes, like, at the time they played. I mean, again, now Marty is, like, quite a bit older. But yeah, like, Dom's definitely a more locked-in returnee. Oh yeah, and Marty for sure would return. It's more so would production bring him back. Again, he's had so many close calls at this point, but again, we're at the point now where it was literally over 20 seasons ago he was on Survivor. Like, I think the best shot he's gonna have is if 46 is second chance too, and they decide to go that far back. But even then, like, I don't think it's happening. Best shot's Heroes vs. Villains 3. I mean, what happened to Heroes vs. Villains 2, but not happening. Like, I don't think they're ever doing Heroes vs. Villains again. Unless they, like, actively go out of their way to do... Like, unless they go, like... actually, that was the complete opposite of what I meant to say, in terms of actively go out of their way to do it. But I think unless they, like, put together a cast and then are like, what theme can we come up with here, and then decide on it. Like, I don't think they're going to go out of their way to do Heroes vs. Villains.
The money stays with me until I have seen the cargo.
Where do you think it's going next week? I mean, there's like just a decent amount of people that have potential, right? I mean, let's look at the list up. So, I mean, like, Marianne obviously seems like the clear boot if Taku goes to Tribal again. I suspect she has longevity. So it's like, if it's not her, then maybe Lindsay. Like, again, Omar and Jonathan are not going anywhere anytime soon.
I will have a map drawn up for you within the week.
But yeah, like, I think if Taku goes to Tribal, it's probably Marianne, but I suspect that they're not going to Tribal. If it's Ika,
one of my men claims he saw
really, like,
weapons enter the
almost anybody could go home there outside of Drea. I think Drea is the safest person on the board, which is ironic considering she's the person that they're propping up as the potential boot. I think Drea has longevity. Oh yeah, I forgot about no, Lindsay's not going home. They have the fucking amulet thing. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Marianne's probably the boot. Taku goes to Tribal. They're probably not going to Tribal again, though, I would guess. Ika, again, like, Tori, I think her downfall's been set up. The thing is, though, I thought if she was going home, it would be this episode. I think the fact that they kind of gave her, like, some positive content, or, like, some, like, decent content, I should say, in this episode, is probably, like, a decent sign for her, like, at least making it, like, a few more rounds. I guess I could see the Swati. I could see, like, the Drea plan backfiring on Swati. And to be fair, same thing with Tori too. Where, like, I feel like that is the more likely scenario to me than Drea actually going home. Again, to me, Drea, like, is going to be there for a while. I think she's for sure making merge, based on, again, it just feels like they're setting up things with her. That it's like, I feel like if anything, this plan to get rid of Drea is a red herring. and the reason they're introducing it now is because it's later going to backfire on the people making the plan now in Swati and Tori. And then Romeo, like, I don't know if he's going home soon. Like, he has gotten undermined the edit to where, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he has, like, some sort of spectacular downfall. But, like, I don't actually really think it's happening. And then Roxroy, I mean, I think he's prone to go home at any point. And while I do think there is a semblance of a story for him to still potentially win, he also still, like, is, like, mostly shown negatively. And I think he's just prone to go home at any point. And then Vati, like, I don't know. Like, really? I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess Chanel and Daniel seem to be the swing, right? Like, we obviously see these pairs, and it does seem like Chanel and Daniel are closer to... Why are they? I don't know. Like, I feel like we really can't gauge who's going home there. Like, I don't think it's Mike. I think Mike's edit feels like one that is going to be in there for the long haul. In terms of at least make merge, I should say. Like, I feel like Daniel's probably in there for, like, at least one. Like, I could see Daniel being, like, a boot before the merge, but I don't think he'll be at this next round. Unless, like, this entire, like, stuff with Mike just completely backfires on him right away. Like, Jenny, like, I could see the potential for a Jenny boot. Like, I talked about that at the beginning of stream, that, like, I could see this, like, Mari Takahashi style edit for her, like, Allie Elliott sort of thing. Oh, like, they do take the time to introduce her and give her a decent amount, or, like, give her, like, a semblance of content to make you think that she's someone that's in it for the long haul, but then have her as, like, a surprise pre-merge boot. Chanel, I think, to be honest, Chanel, I don't know, but, like, Chanel hasn't had the personal content. Like, Chanel would also kind of maybe fall into that category, but, like, I just feel like Chanel hasn't really had, like, they haven't really focused in on Chanel. I think High has longevity. And then, like, possibly Lydia could go home. Okay. Who's gotten personal content so far? I mean, almost everyone, realistically, but, like, alright, I'm gonna, again, run through the list. Roxroy talked about his kids and his wife and everything, right? Lindsay hasn't, outside of mentioning that she's a Jew, which is nothing. Romeo got personal content talking about what did he talk about in episode 1? I know he talked about pageantry and all that stuff. High got it this episode, talking about being a vegan and all that stuff. Swati got it in the premiere. Chanel has not gotten personal content pretty much at all, right? Jenny got personal content talking about being a designer. Tori has gotten content talking about well, I mean, has she gotten personal content? I'm trying to remember. Like, she's gotten content talking about how big of a fan she is. Oh, no, she's talking about being a psychiatrist, so. Yeah. Lydia, like, kind of, but not really. Like, she has gotten personal content, technically. But it's, like, also, like, insignificant personal content. Like, it's really personal content that's, like, more so, like, there because it, like, makes good TV, more so than it being personal content to prop up your potential winner. Where it's like, it's personal content in the sense that she's talking about how, like a fish out of water she is, and how, like, she hates sand and all that, like, sort of stuff. It's like, it's not really, like, personal content that actually, like, truly matters. Marianne got personal content in the premiere. Daniel got personal content talking about the cancer. Mike got personal content talking about being a firefighter. Drea got personal content at the beginning of the premiere, right? Talking about, being a half-blind hurdler and stuff like that. Jonathan kind of got personal content with him talking about his world records and that sort of thing in the premiere, and then also this episode. What did he talk about again? He talked about Christianity. That's what it was. And then obviously Omar talked about him being Muslim, and also being a veterinarian and everything. So really, most of the cast has gotten personal content. The only ones that haven't are Lydia to a degree, and Chanel and Lindsay. Those are really it. So really most of the cast has. Yeah, I could see Lydia being a boot. I think Hai is for sure there for the long haul. I think Mike is more than likely there for the long haul. I think everyone else could potentially be a boot. But even like Chanel, I don't think it's particularly likely. But again, like the Jenny, I mean, like Daniel's probably safe too. So really, I think Jenny or Lydia. I would probably lean towards Lydia if they were to go to Tribal. Actually, would they though? Because like Lydia got nothing this episode, and I feel like if they were to go to Tribal like next episode, like wouldn't they try to like subtly hint at something with this episode, or like try to give that person like a little bit of content here? I don't know. But yeah, like Ika, like yeah, it's probably like I don't know. I mean, yeah, it could be anyone really. But I think either Roxroy, it's either Roxroy or the Drea plan backfires on like Swati or Tori. Abraham did not get any personal content, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like that's the thing also is like, actually, if you don't have personal content now, that's actually probably better for like, in terms of your longevity, in the sense that probably means it's coming later. I mean, like, we saw that with, like, people like in Erica, and, actually, did Heather get personal content? But either way, I know Erica obviously didn't get her personal content until the merge.
Someone should
I mean, like, Chanel was done, like, I don't know, I guess Chanel could go home in the way that like someone like a Liz from like Liz Markham, was that her name, from 32, like I could see that maybe being her style of edit, where like she gets this like established, but then again, like I mean even then though, like Peter got so much negativity that it made sense that that Liz would go home there. Well, there hasn't really been that with Daniel. Unless this is a situation where, like, the plan to, like... I mean, there wasn't really even a plan to target Mike, though. But either way, like, maybe something involving Mike's idol backfires on Daniel and Chanel was the one that gets targeted out of the two for that. I think that's the way that Chanel goes home, but... yeah, like, realistically, like, it's probably not one of them. Especially considering at this point they're one of the more established duos. I'm too bad. They are the most established duo of the three on that tribe.
Down the alert! Push through!
Go!
Go!
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that Heather sucked so bad at the reward challenge in episode 4 or whatever. Erica's personal content felt forced. I mean, that's like for the better, isn't it? If it's forced. Because if it's forced, that means that they're going out of their way to show it, which means that it's actually important to the overall season then. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, Xander didn't get personal content until the finale. It's so funny that people actually thought Xander was going to win ethically. Not many people, but there were like some people in the Edge community that were thinking, oh, Xander's still gonna win. It's like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Who's that over there?
You mean for yeah, because you got the hourglass twist. I think in a way, like, that was, like, I think thematically for the season, it makes sense that that's the case, though, with Erica. Where, again, like, the entire story of Erica is that she is this lamb, or she is this lion dressed as a lamb, and that she's going to come out at the right time. And again, it makes sense for her not to be properly introduced until the merge, when she's actually becomes relevant.
20 years in this city, living like a cipher. Finally, everything is falling into place.
When the Paleologos line is restored, Manuel, do not forget where.
Yeah, that's probably the case. Actually, does that probably mean that one of the people that don't have personal content here are probably going to be the people that go on the Hourglass, that get the Hourglass Swiss? I wonder if that's the case. So does that mean that someone like a Chanel or... I'm too fair though. I mean, like, some of these people that I say got personal content didn't properly get it to where, like, they could get more. Like someone like Jenny. Like, really, her personal content is her talking about being a designer, but she didn't get like a proper intro that had like photos from home and that sort of thing. So like, she didn't really get a proper intro in terms of like the way that like Mike did, or that Swati did, or other people. But when it has the best story, probably Mike. I mean, like, that's the one that comes to mind right away. Like, he's like, that's the one that like people talk about, like, oh, Mike Holloway. That's like you could have turned his story into a movie and that sort of thing. Yeah, like, I mean, Chris Doherty also has a good story. Who else is there? I mean, it's usually like these people that like overcome a decent amount of adversity. When they started doing photos from home, yeah, it was last season. By the way, I did watch my I watched my Panama video, my UK Panama video that came out today, and I mentioned at the beginning that, like, because like UK Panama does these intros similar to Australian Survivor, where they have like interviews from home as part of their intro. Like, I mentioned that Survivor in Survivor US has adopted this recently or whatever. It's like I kind of realized that actually they didn't. Like, they don't do interviews from home. I'm a fucking idiot. I got that mixed up with like photos from home, thinking that they also had like videos. I mean, to be fair, Tiffany did in 41, but like that was because she was like, they showed the video of her finding out that she's on the show. But like, that was, again, like, I was just being a fucking idiot. All right. There was like, oh yeah, I mean, that's also a decent one. But really, I feel like any David would have fit the theme. Mind you, I think Nick was probably the best one, considering he was the one that was able to utilize, like, the fact that he's the one that talks about, you gotta take down the Goliath with this, or David took down the Goliath with this slingshot or whatever it was. And like, he's the one that embodies that part of it the best, in terms of like him using advantages in specific ways that allows them to get the upper hand. Do I think Tiffany will be on the next All-Star scene? Are we talking about Tiffany 41? Probably not. But I don't think it's a 0% chance, but I also feel like there's probably people that are more likely to return than her.
Well, aren't you special? Really special?
I do wonder though, like, has she taken like Carolyn's like spot? Because like, I feel like her and Carolyn are like very similar archetype wise, with Carolyn like being someone that should be a lock. I mean, like, Jeff Probst even said at the time of Game Changers that next time we have an all-star season, you're gonna be on, or by the way, Carolyn's also probably someone that would be on 40. But like, is it too late? Like, again, like, it's been over 10 seasons since Carolyn, so yeah, I do question, is she still there? Or Chrissy? Yeah, Chrissy's another one. It's weird though. I feel like Chrissy, like, I mean, but then again, I mean, to be fair, last time we heard them talk about Mama C. Actually, no, because like we do know that she got the call for 40. Did Christy get the call for 40? That's something I actually don't know. I'm sure she did, but like I feel like we don't have that like confirmed anywhere, right? Is Carolyn 60? Is she really that old now? I guess that actually does make... She was like already like 50, right? That's insane. Yeah, she is probably around that age. God damn, yeah, she is 60. Huh. Yeah, but she was, what, 50 when she... Or not 50. 52 when she played. Yeah. That's the problem with all winners. It fucks up next All-Star season casting. Yeah. I think it would be fun. Like, I want to do that video. I think it would be fun to run through all the people that could have been on 40. Talk about what the cast could have been. I mean, like, who from Winners at War would have been on 40 anyway? I think that's also a thing to talk about. Because, like, would Wendell have been, like, because obviously, like, I think a lot of, like, the more recent people are people you would think would come back. But it's like Nick would not be on 40, right? Like, Nick is for sure not, like, they don't care enough about Nick to put him on 40. Especially over, like, a Davey or a Christian. Or, I mean, I guess Angelina is its own separate thing. But, yeah, definitely Davey or Christian are getting on over Nick. Then, what? Wendell, again, like, does Wendell make the cut? Like, I don't know if Wendell makes the cut. Especially if we're doing old school versus new school. Like, I just don't know if they have the spots to put Wendell on there. Especially if you're going to have Dom on there, who I think is the bigger lock for a return at that point. I think Ben is probably on. But then again, like, I know, like, part of the appeal for Ben was that it was all winners. And they did have to, like, kind of convince him to come back. So it's like, maybe he doesn't come back if it's all winners. Think they'll do Dom and Wendell. I mean, like, I think they would on any normal All-Star season. But again, if it's old school versus new school, that means you're going to have Dom and Wendell on the same tribe. And you're going to have, like, two of the new school players be the final, like, two of the finalists from one specific season. Like, that feels like a bit much. Yeah, like, Sarah Lucina for sure is not coming back. Adam's probably there. Actually, I don't know. Would they have cast Adam, though? Like, I think Adam for sure would want to be there, but, like, I don't know if they would have picked Adam at that point to be on 40. Michelle, I think, is also another one that, like, maybe? I don't think they were dying for a Michelle return if it wasn't for Winners at War at that point, so I don't know. Jeremy would have said no. I don't think Jeremy would have done it unless it was all winners. Natalie would be there. I think Natalie Anderson would have for sure. Like, I think she's one of the bigger locks on the board, really. By the way, I think we're done game-wise at this point. And then... I don't know if Tony's there. He probably is, realistically. But, it probably wouldn't have gone as well for him, though. And then what? Tyson's probably in the running. Like, Tyson's one of these people that I think no matter how many times you ask him, he's gonna say yes. It's just a matter of, like, do they want him on the final cut?
I am closing in on
I feel like, I mean, would you have him old school or new school? I think that's also weird. I guess old school, because, like, technically he's from Tokyo-Tunes, but, which is, like, in the first half of Survivor season at that point, but it's still weird. By the way, I'm starting this cutscene so that next time I start the game, I can just start it here.
Oh, Ezio. Incredibile.
Will Michelle play again? I think so. I think she'll play Survivor again.
Amazing. This must be a 3rd century transcription.
The people going on MTV heard the chances of playing Survivor again? I don't think so. Because one, Jay specifically asked Survivor Production, hey, if I go on the challenge, would that ruin my chance of coming back? And they told him no. And also, we saw, with Big Brother at least, Davon and Bailey come back. And also they wanted Josh and Casey. they want them on All-Stars, despite them being on the challenge.
Ezio, the thief could be
Why was Tyson on Game Changers? I don't think they wanted him.
He came for money, but took a painting. He should be close by, eager to get rid of it.
Well, if
I don't think he was like high on their priority list.
Meet me by the aqueduct.
And I think it's the same thing for 40 if it wasn't Winners at War. Where like I think he's someone that they probably call. He probably says yes. I mean, he obviously says yes. He said yes for Winners at War. I don't think it was ever a question for him. But like I don't know if it's like I don't think they're dying to see him play again. Yeah. Then what? Denise? I don't know if Denise says yes. For 40 if it's not Winners at War. Kim, I don't know if they would bother really. I don't know if they would go out their way to get Kim. Sophie, I think is probably more likely. Again, Sophie was in contention for Game Changers. It was probably like cut because of Aubrey, I would guess. But yeah, I think with Aubrey being out of the casting pool, considering she was like not wanting to come back at that point, I think Sophie's pretty likely there. Boss Rob's obviously not coming back if it's not Winners at War. Barely came back as it is. Does Sandra come back? I think that's a question. Probably yes. Considering at that point Sandra was like another one of these people that was like, okay, every time they call me, I'll say yes. Does Aubrey still not want to come back? I think I heard that she was like a bit more open to it now. But I don't remember where I saw that from. But I know at the time of 40, she for sure did not want to play again. Where like I know after after Edge of Extinction, she was talking about how she did not enjoy the experience and she wanted to take a break. Which Survivor challenge has the best 2 seasons of each number? Yeah, probably 25 comes to mind right away. Yeah, I mean, actually, that's probably because I'm looking at my top seasons. Like, yeah, like Free Agents and Philippines, 2 seasons that are in my top tier. Like you got Rivals, which is season 21, so that's Nicaragua. Which I like Survivor Nicaragua more than probably the average person, but definitely not up there. The Duel, it's like Cook Islands, 33, World of Worlds, and Millennium Gen X. I mean, that's fine. I think they're both around the same spot for me. Where they're both like, kind of like, upper teens seasons, like around, like the 10 to 15 spot for both of them. Kind of want Taj back for old school season. I think a lot of people want Taj back, right? But she doesn't want to come back. I know she's turned them down a couple times, so would not be surprised if she turned down 40 also. Game Changers and Winners at War, Game Changers and War of the Worlds too. I wouldn't agree on Game Changers being that high. I feel like Philippines and Free Agents is tough to beat there, because I don't know if there's any other combination where both seasons are top tier. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Taj's been open about not wanting to play again. And to be honest, I don't think Taj has the incentive to play again. Like, that's the thing. Like, I talked about that, I forgot which video it was, but one of my casting videos, where I don't, like, the thing is, like, even though people want to see Taj play again, I don't even know if she came back and played again, that she would be that incentivized to actually try. Like, where, like, even in Tokens, she wasn't even trying to win the game by the end of it. She wanted to give the win to JT and Steven. And was really butthurt at the end there because, like, they didn't even, like, take her to 3 or whatever. Whereas, like, she was willing to throw her game at 3. It's like Taj, like, barely even wanted to actively play the game at the end of Tokens. So, like, I don't know how incentivized she is to play on, if she were to return now. Especially when, like, she got what she wanted out of Survivor. She wanted to go on Survivor to, like, prove it to herself that she could do it. And it's like she got what she wanted. So it's like, I don't know. And she was never, like, a big fan of the show or anything. She was recruited. Like, I just don't know, like, how much, like, true potential there really is in her. on return. Like, I think on paper, again, like, I would like to see it because I do think she is a solid enough player, and a player that does have a decent amount of potential there. But it's like, also, it's like, I just don't know how, like, into the game she would actually be. Yeah, 32 is a decent one. Yeah, obviously I like Final Reckoning way more than most people. And then, Ko Rong's pretty high too. Yeah, I mean, they're both top 10, right? Ko Rong's my top 10, right? So, yeah, I guess that's another close one. I'm pretty sure... Free Agents is very high for me challenge-wise, and Philippines is like, what, like number 6 or 7 or so? So I'm pretty sure that's a higher average. But yeah, 32 is actually a decent one. I'm trying to think, 29? Let's try... Oh, Invasion. So yeah, that doesn't quite work. 28, Kagiyan and Rivals 3. I actually like Rivals 3 more than most people, but it's definitely still not high. Yeah, I still... Free Agents has to... 25 has to be the number there. I love how, like, Dave vs. Goliath... because, like, now I'm running through, like, the seasons that... like, going from Survivor's point of view, and, like... Yeah, like, Dave vs. Goliath is obviously a top-tier season, but, like, the comparison is, Spies, Lies, and Allies, so thank God for that. The Gauntlet... What was it? It was the Gauntlet and Pearl Islands. Like, that's not a terrible combination. But again, not quite up there. Angel Cake has Rivals 3 at the bottom. Again, like, I know a lot of people are very low on Rivals 3, and I get it. Because, like, I do think casting-wise, like, it's very lopsided, where, like, it's so fucking obvious that Johnny and Sarah are going to win from the beginning. A lot of the rivalries are really fake. And, like, just seem to be random groupings of people. But it's a really messy season. Like, there's a lot of drama in the season, particularly in, like, the first, like, half to 2/3 of it. Like, there's a lot of messy drama there, and I think that, at least, is fun to see. And then, also, yeah, you have the ending. You have, Banana stealing the money from Sarah. So it's like, there's some fun stuff there. And Battle of the Bloodlines is another one that a lot of people hate. I like Battle of the Bloodlines more than most people. And spoiler alert, Battle of the Bloodlines and Rivals 3 are back-to-back on my season ranking. Mind you, again, they're still not that high, and, like, I did debate over where exactly to put them, because, like, for me, it's whether or not they're above or below, like, the more old-school season, the good old-school seasons of the show. In terms of, like, Gauntlet, Inferno, Inferno 2, Gauntlet 2. Like, those 4 seasons, not in that order, but are kind of a block, and for me, it's a debate on, is Battle of the Bloodlines and Rivals 3 above or below those seasons? And I think I'm going to go below, which ends up putting them in, like, the bottom half of the list. But, like, I still do like Battle of the Bloodlines and Rivals 3. Where, like, Battle of the Bloodlines is, like, a season that, like, has a really fucking terrible cast. But I still think it's fun, like, along the way despite that. And I think, like, the Blood versus Water dynamics are pretty... Blood versus Water. The Love 1 dynamics are fun there. Where you see, like... because they're, like, split up on different teams, and you see, like, even though, like, I think from a competitive standpoint, it's kind of shit, because, like, it incentivizes teams to, like, throw comps and whatnot. But I do think it was interesting to see, like, Bananas and Anthony try to throw the competition to try to save Kellyanne and that sort of stuff. Gauntlet 2 is bad. Like, Gauntlet 2, I'm always so conflicted on Gauntlet 2, because, like, I hated it the first time I watched it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Then, like, but it's like, and then when I rewatched it, I liked it more, but not as much as I thought I would. But it's a season that, like, when I think back to, I think of, like, relatively positively. Like, I feel like there are, like, a lot of good individual moments within Gauntlet 2, that do prop it up. Despite, like, the actual watching of the season not being as good as, like, certain other seasons. I feel like there are other seasons that are like that. That I kind of struggled with in terms of where exactly to rank them. Actually, let's bring up the ranking real quick. Yeah, I'm probably going to end in a second here, but yeah, I do want to... I might as well talk through, like, some of the more contentious ones for me. If this would fucking load. There we go. Yeah, I mean, like, realistically, it's like, I feel like a lot of the top of the list is pretty solidified. What was another one of those seasons? Like, I feel like Rivals 2 is another one of those seasons But like Rivals 2, like when I watched it, I didn't like. When I rewatched it, I probably didn't love it as much as I thought I would. But it's like when I look back at Rivals 2 and like think of like the storylines that happen within it, I feel like I enjoy it a lot more. And kind of same thing with like Battle of the X's too, where like I feel like that season's like maybe a little bit bloated. But I feel like there's like good individual moments along the way. Same thing with Fresh Meat 2, that's probably another one. Fresh Meat 2 is probably actually the biggest example, where like, actually, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is probably actually a more consistent season. But I think it's one that like is one of the more interesting seasons, like strategically. No, I'm not including All Stars. Again, I plan on doing a sequel video, which at this point, like initially it was going to be like maybe a month or two after the season ranking, but now with War of the Worlds, I decided to just bump it until after War of the Worlds and just include all the War of the Worlds seasons in there, where I'll rank every spin-off. And then like through that, I'll also talk about its correlation to the main list. Is the video going to be controversial? I think certain placements will be. I don't think the top spots will be, though. Well, at least I should say, I think the top 3 will not. Again, depending on your thoughts on World of Worlds 2, that might be controversial. I mean, I have Final Reckoning about Seasons 2 relatively high. Yeah, I mean, like, I have like certain seasons like Vendetta is probably higher than the average. Inferno 2 is probably lower than most people. Again, Battle of the Bloodlines and Rivals 3 are probably higher than most people. And then I think, like, depending on what you think of, like, Battle of the Sexes, because I was actually surprised by that. I was looking at, like, the challenge Reddit is doing the what should you watch or whatever thing, and like Battle of the Sexes was very high on it, like based on like what I thought it was going to be, because like again, Battle of the Sexes is like my like least favorite season that is not the first 4, and it's like again, like I like was reading like their comments and everything and like why they like it, and like I kind of like I get that part, like I get like what they're saying, but like also I just don't agree with it. Like I mean, like Battle of the Sexes is just such a terrible, like it's a terribly constructed season where like there are like things on paper that are good in terms of like there are like certain cast, like it's like a iconic cast on paper. I think the problem is that the show doesn't like utilize that cast. I think the way that the show is structured, in it being these like 30-minute episodes that have 2 eliminations every episode, and they're like these people are being eliminated by a vote off that isn't really like the intricacies of that vote off isn't really being displayed on the show. And it's like I don't know, it's like I don't fucking care. Like I just don't feel like it's like even though it's like there are interesting things about it on paper, it's not really utilizing that. And then also just the format's fucking terrible. And also just the entire concept of Battle of the Sexes is fucking terrible for the challenge when you're going to have a lot of these challenges be things that are super physical. So it's like, and like, it's just like so fucking obvious that the guys are going to win from very early on. And like what, the women barely win any dailies across the challenge, right? Or maybe that's Battle of the Sexes too. I don't fucking remember. They all blend together at this point. But either way, it's like, Battle of the Sexes, again, Battle of the Sexes 1 and 2, I think are just like terrible concepts for a challenge season. And both of them have massive flaws. Mind you, I think Battle of the Sexes 2 I enjoyed more. And like Battle of the Sexes 2, again, like is still in this like not proper challenge format, which is why it's like relatively low. But like I would actually like consider bumping that one up. But like Battle of the Sexes 1 though, like really just did not do much for me. Yeah, and 1 they won 5, and 2 they won 3. It's like out of like 18 or something though, right? So it's like, yeah, that means like lose quite a bit, but yeah. But anyway, again, I think we'll call in. Again, this actually, holy shit, did we go 5 hours? Oh my god, wow, it's almost 4 fucking o'clock. I didn't even realize that. God damn it. Alright, yeah, we went 5 hours again, so that's something. Annoyingly, this stream's cut into 2, so that's shit. But whatever. So yeah, again, we will be back on Sunday. And what do we have going on until then? We have another episode of Australian Survivor. We also have BB Can eviction tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it, right? I'll probably try to catch up on the Australian Survivor review in that time. I'll record the challenge season ranking tomorrow, though, to be honest, I probably won't edit it for a little while, just because I do want to get caught up on Australian Survivor first. And yeah, I think that's mostly it. So, again, thank you everyone's still here after 5 fucking hours. Yeah, see you guys on Sunday. So, thanks for watching.